really interesting. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value. You can have ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called. And on this kind of board, like what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm gonna say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is gonna stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm gonna guarantee that's what he's gonna say. Very interesting though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there too. A lot of times the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draws. He's going to have king X. And we kind of know, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just spewing.
All right, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, high deck, low jack, under the gun one. You are right.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
I'm
already down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
You're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah. Ah! Yes! I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold!
The right But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
the
points
excuses
fold.
to open
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's 14.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
What the hell? Yeah, so my dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I always love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options to 12 and 1,400 amounts. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on the site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I teach people when it comes to poker is when you can get to the turn and there's an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's the winning end.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, no, we can't win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
A $10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, we'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have 2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. We're here, we're live, we're ready to go. What's happening, folks? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Saturday. It's time to get our learn on. It's time to get better so we can go out and kill this shit on Sunday, the big Sunday tomorrow. What's up, guys? I see Matt, I see Red, I see Cyrus, I see Marlon, I see Show, all in the chat. We got 20 viewers. That's my man, Crazysixes. What's happening, partner?
how you doing, buddy?
Good, 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 good. I'm just getting it hyped in here.
He's back, guys.
Let's
he took
go.
a week off. Yeah, he is amped. He's ready. The animal, the man-child himself is back.
The man-child. Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. I love it, man. I'm excited, man. I had fun doing it last week. I've actually been using this site more and more during the week for little individual study and to look at stuff myself. So there's a lot of shit on here, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, the amount of content. You know what I mean? Even with 600 quizzes, you can do that till the world blows up, right? Like, that's a lot of quizzes.
Yeah, exactly. And to check yourself, I mean, the charts are really nice. I mean, we can look at those real quick. I've been looking at the charts.
That's under tools, right? The pre-flop charts and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, I got it pulled down too low. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm pulling it up on my thing here. So there's pre-flop charts and stuff like that. RFI charts. You know, if you're uncertain, I'm not saying use this as Bible. We always need to be adjusting, but these charts are fucking nasty, dude. And you can get all this stuff for just signing up for free. You have access to all these charts. You can click on them and save them yourself, just for free, and just use them in your personal time. So it's got facing, raise first in, and what our range look like and how we should proceed. So it's pretty sick. I've been using this stuff a lot.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Exclamation point PC in my chat, exclamation point PC in Sixes chat to get a link to go check it out with the free stuff. You get all this homework, the challenges, the quizzes, all this good stuff. They have a couple of new coaches on the roster added this week too. Did you see that?
Oh, I have an echo.
Tristan Wade and Lexi Gavin got added.
Yeah, I did see that.
Pretty amazing.
Hold on.
You got some
Is my mic? Yeah, I asked if my mic is echoing.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was streaming on, what's today? Saturday? I was streaming on Thursday night. And Evan Jarvis dropped in and hung out for a couple hours. So that was really cool.
Yeah, man, he's cool as hell. I would love to meet him and talk to him one day. I'm a big fan of his game. And he's got that crossover, he's a cash game crusher and can step in tournaments and do his thing. You don't see that a whole lot.
Usually you specialize, right?
Yeah, there's usually just guys who specialize. So for him to be a hybrid and can crush both, I would love to pick his brain or maybe even have him join one day and do some quizzes or something. That'd be fun.
That would be super fun.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I just thought about that.
That's a really good idea. We should bring that up to Justy.
Yeah, we should hit him up on Twitter and just see if he wants to join in one Saturday morning if he's ever available. I think it'd be fun to have him around and go through some of the hand histories with us, see how he scores, Yeah,
I'm actually making a note right now.
It was the brain. It came from my brain.
Yeah, that was a great idea. We're going to throw that one to Justin. Cool.
All right, sweet. Yeah, so you want to get right in it?
One thing I wanted to say, because it just popped in my head. What was really cool for me last week is even though I didn't get to do the stream part of it, I was in your chat modding and playing along. And it was my first time doing it really as a user. And man, you're a lot of fun, man. We're fun.
It's a good time, yeah. It gives everybody a chance to interact and then, agonizing over decisions as we would in game because I want to get all these right. I want to score perfect tens every single fucking time.
Yeah, and it was cool because I was clicking along with you and there was a couple of moments where I made my decision. So I'd already clicked and you were debating and you were close to a perfect score and I'm screaming at my monitor. I'm like, you set me up, Sixes, run. Don't do it.
Yeah, that Jonathan Little one is still haunting me from last week where it was a clear jam on the river and he went 22K and left the guy 5K behind. That hurt me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day, man, how in the fuck is he not jamming right there?
He got robbed.
Oh, that was good.
Jim Moore, thank you for that follow. Let's jump into a quiz. I don't know if you want to do one of these new ones. Looks like the new coaches have cash quizzes and not tournament quizzes. Or if you want to throw in some tournament quizzes.
I don't know. It feels like our communities are primarily tournament-based, but we got some time today.
Blind's 25.50, but it looks like a tournament. You want to do 634? One of her new ones?
Oh, yeah. Let's do the new one for sure. It's the tournament, $25.50. It says $25.50 like it's cash.
Like it's cash, but it says tournament. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's do it.
Cool. Let's roll it.
Hey everyone, this is Lexi Gavin from Pokercoaching.com. Today I have a hand from Poker Night in America Ladies Night. This was a live stream. It was actually the first time I was ever on a live stream table, so I was super nervous, but wound up having a lot of fun. So let's jump right into the action. So we're playing 25.50 No Limit Hold'em. Action folds over to Kate Hall. For those of you who don't know Kate Hall, she is a very solid retired pro. She is super competent, pretty much plays a GTO strategy. She is pretty aggressive. So she raises to 150 off of a roughly 14K stack. I am in the hijack and I wake up with pocket kings. I bump it up to 450 I actually would have liked to see myself size up a little bit here. We are 200 big blinds effective because I am sitting on a 10K stack. So I could have sized up to 550, 600, but I do elect to go for the $450 3 bet. So action folds over to Kate and she elects to call. The flop is 5 of hearts, 3 of diamonds, 6 of spades. Kate checks. What do you do? Do you check, bet 300, bet 500, or bet 750?
All right. Can you hear me, Toe?
Yeah, I can hear you. We were talking about how she has some new coach jitters, and she's not a streamer, so she has to learn how to project her voice.
Yes, I
Be
had to
heard.
turn my shit way up as well. It was pretty low. But yeah, she said initially she knew she made the mistake pre-flop of not going big enough. I mean, we have to go 4x when we're 200 big blinds. At minimum 4x. You could even go 4.5x, 5x. I wouldn't hate that either. If you think they're going to call a lot. So I think she definitely should have went bigger with the
admittedly,
kids.
I am caught off guard. I was going crazy in my chat and kind of missed some of the pre-flop action. Yeah. So the question is now do we see better? No, right? Everyone in my chat going 500, 500, 500. There's a 300 out there from Marlon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 500s.
Cabra says 300. I got one 300. We got a 500. What's up, guys? Cabra, Dr. HJ, Famous Fives. Good morning, fellas. Yeah, I'm still seeing we got 300 and 500. So you got a lot of 3s and 5s in your chat.
I got like all 5s and a 3, and then a 1 medium.
All ace highs are calling. That's why I like going bigger pre. Well, yeah, I mean their range is certainly a bit wider when we just go 3x here. I think we keep in a few more combos, when we just go 3x. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, personally, I like just going bigger here. This bit deep effective, still getting value from a lot of different hands. None of the pairs are going to fold. Ace 5's not going to fold. Ace, ace 4. So yeah, I think I'm going 750 to be honest.
It's funny because I just got someone in my chat who said, let's go 750 just because no one else did.
Yeah, I'm going 7. I think I like going 750. You got to think about it. Like if they are going to continue with some under pairs for at least once, like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 7s, pocket 4s, all within that range. If they're gonna call one bet, they're gonna call a big one now, and they're never gonna fold it. So let's get a bigger street of value up front. Is kind of how I feel. And then we'll kind of condense their range, and then we can choose a different sizing on the turn if we want to go small or big, depending on run out. But I like going big here.
I like going bigger too. I'm a little mixed. I guess 500 isn't that big. It's just like 55, 60%, right? But I feel like I'm tossed up between 500 and 750. I don't think 750 is a mistake by any stretch of the imagination. But
right, I might like 550. I don't think 550 would be a mistake. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like I want to use a more dynamic bet sizing in position on a board where yes, they can have some sets, of course, but a lot of their range is not set. They got a lot of other pairs in that range that will just call a big bet. Even some backdoor floats as well. You might see a float from like Queen Jack of Hearts, sure. Queen Jack of Spades and Jack 10 of Spades and all that stuff as well. 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw, especially if it's a nut flush draw. So,
a couple of questions in my chat. Doesn't 750 kind of turn our hand face up, and would Ace K still float a call? For the turn. So my answer to that was 750 might turn our hand face up as that we have some strength. Yes. But on a board like this, there's a lot of hands that can't fold even to our strength, right? Pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s.
He's going to fly with jacks as well. They're not going to 5-bet jacks and queens this deep either.
Nope.
So you also can miss value from hands like that cannot just 4-bet.
Yep. And they're not necessarily going to raise you here a lot either, especially someone like Kate Hall, who's you know, pretty solid. So she's not just gonna spaz off here with, you know,
Right.
King
I mean, I just think our
five or
target
something.
range is pretty defined. Yeah, we can go smaller and keep in guess more hands, but it feels like the range at this stack depth is going to continue.
Mhm.
It's almost going to continue inelastically, whether we go big or small. It feels like that, you know. If we go bigger, they're still going to continue with all those pairs. He's not going to fold pocket eights, you know, if we go 300 or 750. So
Yeah, Focus and Go, definitely agree. You're getting max value. And Show says, I feel like a 35 bet is more suitable on this flop after a 3-bet pre. The problem is that now you're pricing in all these weird draws. Things get really weird with a 4 or a 7 on the turn. Even a deuce, just things get weird, right? And we want to get max value. All those pairs that we mentioned, Show, are just not calling for, or not folding for a big bet. And if he's got air, he's not calling for much of a bet anyways. Like, I'm not really trying to target getting a handful of chips from Queen Jack off or Ace King off as much as I'm trying to get max value from all the hands that will continue, like 7s plus, Ace 6, Ace 5, Ace Deuce, Ace 4, Ace 3, things like that.
exactly, yeah, I completely agree. So here I'm just going to click 750. And then kind of hear her thoughts. It doesn't feel like it's correct, you know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are going to use these sizings a little bit more, but I like more dynamic sizings. But it could be an opponent situation where we want to bet one size with all of our range, to not, you know, kind of play our hand so face up.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you know what's interesting? I know this is going to be controversial when I say this, so there's a little asterisk coming before this statement. I think I'm betting, but I can kind of see checking too, because it's weird to get check raised on this board. We're
well, it's
certainly not
weird
going
for three
200 bigs
streets.
deep, you know,
You
with the
know,
kings.
when we start betting three streets, it gets kind of tough. It feels like we have a three street hand versus a lot of the range. But when we go bet, you know, and then we get to the river, a lot of rivers, it becomes questionable. Well, can we get check raised on the river? Can they have some sets, you know, that take this line?
Sure, and then some
So
routes are
on this
better than
deal,
others. You know, if it comes Queen 10, we're not nearly as scared as we are. If it
yeah,
comes, you know,
exactly,
7 ace or 7 deuce or whatever. You know what I mean?
right.
7 fives or whatever. 7 4.
All
Cool.
right,
You're saying you're doing 750. I think I'm actually going to go 500 because most of the people in my
all right,
chat said
boys.
500.
All right, boys. We have literally one 3, 1 5, 1 750 in mind.
Ooh. So you're the
Yeah,
decider.
so much. Yeah, so I am the decider. So let's do it, boys.
All
All
right, pick
right.
500. Let's see what happens.
All right, cool.
I gave checking a score of 0 points. Our hand is just way too strong, and this board texture is way too good not to continuation bet. She is gonna have a lot of hands that she can call the flop with. If she was able to call a 3-bet pre-flop with, she's gonna call with all of her pairs, all of her overpairs. She will likely float with ace X type hands that have backdoor equity or hands with 2 overs. So by checking, you're just missing out on way too much value. Betting 300 is okay. I gave that a score of 6 points. I do, however, like going closer to half pot size bet here. Like I said, we are 200 bigs effective, and I like to size up the pot. Betting 750, I don't really like. I gave that a score of 3 points. You are just going to get her to fold out a lot of those ace high type floats that will likely call a $300 or $500 bet on the flop. So you want to keep her in with those types of hands, and betting 750 will scare her away. So I do decide to bet 500, and Kate goes for the check raise here. She bumps it up to 1350, and I elect to call. I'm never folding to a check raise here. It's a pretty standard call. We're at the top of her range. She might be check raising hands, semi-bluff type hands, or she could think she's value raising with worse. She might be raising with queens or tens or anything of that sort. So like I said, we are at the top of our range, and we are never folding, especially in position, especially to this sizing. So we do go for the call. The turn is Queen of Spades. Kate bets 2,300. What should you do? Should you fold? Should you call? Should you re-raise to 6,500? Or should you go all in?
Alrighty, here we go. Facing 2,300.
Sheesh.
It's funny how I said right before, like, what if we get raised?
Yeah, so if we got raised at 1,500, the pot would have been big as hell at 750. Yeah, but either way, yeah, I mean, she makes a good point. I kind of disagree with some of the hands that'll float at this stack depth. I don't see ace 10 of spades. Maybe she thinks you get floated a little bit wider. Maybe like hands like just ace jack off or ace.
Sure, with no weird, like none of the backdoor draws.
If we do go small, yeah, because all the backdoors are calling for even 750. But I mean, I thought 750 would be a higher score than 3.
I do too, and I also think that like in game I would probably go somewhere between 500 and 750.
Yeah,
it's the difference a little less.
It's competition level as well. Like we have people that are gonna play poorly in those spots and stack off a lot more than Kate Hall. You know,
the $11, Kate Hall, 22, 33, $55 tournaments, they're gonna call the bigger bet, and we're gonna get more exploitive that way.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yep. Let's see what Fro status says. Call.
1, 2, 3, call. 4 calls in my chat.
4s, yeah, we got 3 calls here. Everybody's
not
called.
Scared. He's going all in.
Don't want to bloat it like crazy and reopen the pot. Well, I mean, there is no reopening the pot. You're jamming. Yeah, there's 120 big blinds out there. You have 164 behind. You put in a 2,300. Yeah, you're just jamming. If you any other raise like 6,500, like you're gonna leave yourself something behind. So it's either call or shove, if you ask me.
Yeah, you know what makes this really sick? Like I'm just wondering, like, is Kate Hall gonna turn 8s into a bluff here? I can see maybe like pair of 4s. You know what I mean? Turning into a bluff.
Once we call the check raise, I mean our range would have to be pretty strong, right? Like
like we always have an overpair.
We have a lot of we have overpairs, we have sets when we just call. Her raise, she may think it's unlikely that we are going to 3-bet a hand like 5s, 3s, or 6s. So,
Everybody cringy calling. We got dude saying jams, Aussie jamming, and then a bunch of calls.
So we're just turning this into a bluff catcher. That's it.
Yeah,
it's just a bluff catcher.
The question is when we jam here, for the guys that are jamming, what's worse that's calling? Ace, queen that somehow check raise flop and got there on turn, which is paper thin, and then all the pairs of 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, all going to fold if we jam. And sets.
So you're getting called by sets. Ace 4 of spades probably just has to bet call it off. It might feel like, and then ace queen of hearts to check raise, like ace queen. Yeah, your value range. It feels like you're only getting better to call, and a small percentage of worse hands. Better to fold, to call, and worse to fold when you shove. Yeah. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
This is cringy as hell too. This is uncomfortable.
All right, let's call.
Let's go.
All right.
So I gave folding a score of 0. Our hand still is pretty strong. I don't think we have to worry about her having deuce 4 or 4-7, which would be straights, because I don't think she's calling the 3-bet pre-flop with those hands. She's representing a pretty polar range here. She's saying she either has a set or has some kind of straight draw type hand, maybe something like ace 4 of spades or 7-8, that she is definitely going to continue barreling on this turn. So yes, folding I don't love. I gave re-raising to 6,500 a score of 0-2. I think that if you are going to re-raise, I prefer going all in. I actually had a lot of mixed feedback on the turn play here. Some people like calling the turn and others say I should have shoved. I decided to go with a call. I gave that a score of 10 points, and I gave going all in a score of 7 points. here's my thought process. Effectively, we're pretty deep, so it would be a pretty big shove. If I flat, I can keep her bluffs in this case, her straight draw. If I shove, she has to fold here. So, and the dynamic at the table was pretty aggressive with lots of re-raising, so I thought she could have flatted the 3-bet pre-flop with a hand like queens. If I shove, she has to fold hands like jacks or tens. So I did decide to go for the call. So we call, and the river is a deuce of spades, which I wasn't loving. She decides to shove all in. What do you do? Do you fold or do you call?
And it has to be kings too. If any of you guys follow my stream, we know what this looks like.
All right, let's wait for Toe. Talk about the worst mother. I mean, come on.
I was like, what makes this the best is if anyone ever watches me, like, this is the hand with fucking kings. Like, this is my life right here.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. I mean,
this is really, really,
well,
really,
you know what we can tell
really
ourselves.
hard, man.
This is cool because this is where mental fortitude comes in. We fold this hand and say, hey, we still have 118 big blinds because we get check raised. They have all the sets, and then ace four, all pocket fours, ace four. We are only beating a check raised pair that went 1, 2, 3 and turned it into a bluff because this is the best run out.
Even some of those backdoor spade hands, king jack of ace jack of spades, dude, got there.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 118 big blinds behind. I mean, I'm pretty. I'd be pretty
folding,
confident.
Man. I mean, I think I'm folding. I think it's kind of weird. Like, you look at this board, all low cards and a queen, and we're staring down at kings. But in a 200 blind situation, single pair hand does not make me feel good here.
No, I mean, and I think they would. I mean, K-Hall would still jam a set here, trying to get called by aces. You know, like, we don't have too many fours in our range that 3-bet. I mean, is there one? We have maybe 2% of the time we might 3-bet ace 4 suited here or something like that. Most of our pocket fours are just overcalling, so she doesn't have anything to be really worried about. So she could still just play a set this aggressively, try to get some hero calls.
I was just thinking about that. Are you turning a? I mean, that's turning a set into a bluff.
No, it's not really. I mean, think about that. Think about the number of fours we have in our range is played from this position when we 3-bet pre. How many fours are we 3-betting in this spot?
Sure, other the question is, what are we getting value from?
We only 3-bet. We literally only 3-bet ace 4 in this spot, I think.
Sure.
And that's a very small frequency.
If that's the case,
just run out.
What are we getting value from when we're at Kate Hall and we jam here?
Well, at the same time, I mean, hero calls by aces and kings. Hero call, I mean, because we have so much of that in our range, it feels like we would be missing value. I think even if this player is going to fold, some players just are not going to fold aces in this spot. Like, I'm just 1, 2, 3 in my set.
Oh, dude,
like, are you really going to check?
I mean, we can't be results oriented. I think on a 3-bet board like this, and a call, actually, I would have leaned toward call myself for all those same reasons. It is an uncomfortable spot, though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a fold. I mean, I can't see, like, there's just so much that got there. And we can think of the combos in the value range versus the combos that need to turn their hand into a bluff, which is like
pocket jacks,
sevens,
pocket
eights,
eights,
nines,
pocket sevens. Those aren't turning their hand into a bluff here. That's so weird.
They need to. I mean, maybe they feel like they need to. Like 7-8, she mentioned 7-8 being in that range as well. So you got 7-8 in there.
7-8 suited, sure.
7-8 suited, probably. I mean, and then you combine the value range of the sets, all these sets, and then ace 4 and pocket 4s. This is just a fucking fold.
Show says we're up against the bluff. We're probably still up against the bluff. I just don't know that we're up against the bluff.
There's some of the hands that were semi-bluffing got there.
All the
is the problem.
Bluffing out there.
Yeah, we just don't have enough fours. Yeah. All right, we're folding. You ready?
Folding too.
All right.
So this was an interesting river spot. I remember I went into the tank for like 5 minutes. I was trying to come up with her bluff combinations here. All of her 4x hands are now straights. She could have check raised a flop with some kind of backdoor spade combination, which has now improved to a flush. She showed strength the entire way, so she, like I said, she can have all of the sets. And if she did flat me pre-flop with a hand like aces or queens, she's likely taking the same line. So maybe she could have a hand like 7-8 that bricked, but there really weren't too many other bluff combinations I could come up with. So I did fold, and so I gave fold a score of 10 and calling a score of 0. Yeah, unfortunate spot, but I don't really regret my play. And of course she had the pocket fours, which she improved to a straight. So sometimes it happens and you're going to get coolered. And that's really it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you learned something, and I will see you on the next one.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, can't fool us.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, that was good. Just this, the sizing score at the beginning is like whatever, but at the same time, I think we played the hand well. And yeah, I mean, we just don't have enough nuts in our range, and this player has a lot more, a lot more nutty hands. And good. We still have 118 bigs. I mean, we're a beast with that, so we're good.
I mean, that's the big thing is the fact that, like, if you're in a 200 blind pot, even with an overpair, your one pair hand is probably not good.
Yeah, not good. One pair getting in 200 bigs with this action on this run out. We got to fold aces here. We have to fold aces. And
it's interesting too. Like, I love when we do these and they kind of echo chamber us, right? She mentioned the backdoor flush draws. She mentioned ace four. She mentioned pocket fours, and then the occasional 7-8 that's just gonna bluff us. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the value combos. Yeah, the value combos are just great in this spot, and it's pretty cool when you're in this spot and you decide to check raise on this board that's deep, because you get runouts where villain can't do a damn thing about it. Like, he's just not going to have enough 4x in his range, and you're going to have a lot of nuts. So you can just follow through if you were to check raise 7-8 here, which you should, and then go bet on a lot of runouts. So something of note there, you can use this as these kind of textures in big pots to your advantage.
I have a couple questions in my chat. She said she would like to give up river, I think, if she had not improved. If you're going to check raise flop, you have to barrel turn. Agreed. Because when you bet the turn now, you put like pocket sevens, pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket tens in a really weird spot. If we jam turn, can you make fours fold there? Absolutely. For 200 bigs, they shouldn't be getting in. On the straight draw, they should 100% be folding.
Can we make a case for jam and turn? Because
that was
it's only, it's only one more. Another draw, backdoor flush draw came as well. So an ace is going to be pretty bad. Very low percentage of the time a spade, and then obviously a deuce or a 7 kind of aren't great either. So that's even a few more cards that are bad for us in a pot that's already so significant for our stack. I think there were 120 bigs in a pot on a turn.
Yeah. Shows having a nice introspective conversation with himself. Says, do we want to make them fold, or do we want them to figure a hands to keep drawing? We either want them to fold out or we want max value. We can't have both. True. I think it's probably better off to be a little pot control-y because you're still going to run into sets.
Yep. I mean, we're still going to have times where I think we just have to call off when it's like a 10 on a river. We just call off. Even if he has a set, it's like, shit, that's just unfortunate because he can have bluffs. But at the same time, yeah, just fold. All right, you ready for another one? What's up, boys?
Why is the villain Kate Hall? Because this is a hand from Poker Night in America where they played against each other. It was a tough one. That's cool. And we started off with the lucky swish on that one. We got a perfect score.
Hey.
I agree. Your point total, I mean, it's no 10, but it shouldn't have been a 3.
Yeah, a 3 seems pretty low. All right, what's next?
Because it's a cat fight. Yeah, what's next? I picked that one. You want to pick the next one? What you got?
All right, yeah, let's take a look and see. Man, we're starting to fill up this board a little bit. We're starting to get
You have to start to go deep
yeah, we're going. I mean, there's 600 of these things, so we can do these things every week for
until the
years.
world blows up.
Ace Queen from my man Matt Affleck.
What number?
Number 600.
Give me 1 sec here.
36K. Yeah, younger kid, competent.
600. I have my shit all zoomed in. Hang on. Got it. 600. You have to pick the one in the little gap between a bunch of ones I've already done.
Yeah, I know. That's what I did. That's why I did.
Oh, you did it because you're neurotic like me.
Yeah, like let's fill that little gap in real quick.
All right, let's play it.
Let's do it.
All right, this hand is from a Win $600 day 2 tournament. We're a little bit into day 2. We have Ace Queen offsuit in the low jack. We're playing with 50 big blinds, 300,000. We have an easy raise here to 12,000. And it folds to the big blind who calls. Big blind checks, and the flop is Ace 8-7 with 2 hearts. Should we check? Bet 8,000, bet 14,000, or bet 22,000?
All right, guys, get it out there. What's your bet size going to be? Is it going to be 0? And
Pretty straightforward. Win $600 tournament. Day 2.
Yep.
What do you guys like here for your sizing? So this is just straight theoretical. What are we going to do on an Ace 7-8 board versus big blind range?
8K, 14K, 22K, or 0K?
All right.
I literally have one of each of the sizes now. I have an 8, a 14, a 22.
You ain't got no check in there.
No check yet. 2
No
8s.
check yet. All right,
14,
all right, community. What we
22.
doing, boys? Fire Danks. What's up, hey, what's the score of the Ohio State game? I'm too lazy to check. Let me know. Yeah, 22. We got 22. We got 22 here. I think these boys are liking a bigger bet, thinking we can get called by a lot of straight draws, flush draws, and worse Ace X for that size. And are we going to lose an 8X or a 7X when we go that size? A bare 8X, I think.
I mean, yes.
Big blind. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Big
But
blind has so many draws and 8.
We do lose the 8X, but we get mad value from the hearts, 9, 10, 5, 6, worse ace.
Yeah, 5, 6, 9, 10, heart draws, and worse aces are going to make up a portion of the continuing range. We don't care about losing 7-3. We'd probably rather charge the draws a bit more.
We got Matt, The Wall, and Ginger doing 8K. We got Marlon, Dude doing 22K, and Cyrus splitting it with 14. I think I would go big because of all the draws. I mean, I'm going to be 22 here in game for sure.
Yeah, so am I. I think that's the way we've worked on these spots. I'm just thinking of when we put these spots in Pio or with the kind of responses. We still have a massive range advantage. I mean, don't get me wrong, when the ace is out there compared to their continuing range. So do we use a small sizing? So if he does check raise, we can always call. And you mean we always call a check raise, and then we can just bomb the fuck out of turns?
Yeah, for me, the 8 is out of the question. 14 I can be convinced of just because it's a big blind defend range, right? So
yeah,
I think 20. But then at the same time, he's got all of the heart draw. You know, we min raise this. He's got all the heart combinations, like every single suited heart combination.
He also has every single
5,
weak
6,
ace too.
6, 10, 9, 10, Jack 10. You know, with a heart that's got a gutter and a heart, things like that. He's got. So yeah, I guess I'm back to 22.
Yeah, we don't have the ace of hearts. Maybe I'd be a little bit smaller if it was like 7, 8 heart, and then. But let's go to 22, boys. All right, we got 14. We got 2 22s. Dr. HJ, I'm sorry, we're gonna do the 22.
I've got 3 and 3, so I'm gonna be the difference maker and say 22.
All right, let's do it.
I think people make huge mistakes here and just check back this flop. I think it's a big mistake. I think we need to be betting, and we need to be betting large. Ace 7-8 with a flush draw. The big blind has lots of hands they can continue with. 5, 6, 9, 10. his like Jack 10 type hands. He's gonna have every ace in the deck almost. Ace deuce off, all the suited aces. He has tons of 8, 7. So he's not lacking hands to call with. So I like betting 14,000. We don't need to bet too large. The stack to pot ratio is about 8, so we can still get the money in on good runouts. But I wouldn't even hate betting 22,000. I think if we were a little deeper, I would even size up to the 22, but I think that is a good sizing as well. We bet 14,000. Big blind calls. Turn is the 9 of spades, and the big blind checks. Should we check, bet 20,000, bet 35,000, or bet 52,000?
Whew. He said we need to bet big, and then fires just over half pot. I mean, that is a relatively big bet. He said he liked 22. He said the reason why he thought smaller was better was just because of the stack to pot ratio in this scenario. He's still going to be able to get it in on good runouts. But, yeah. Wait,
All right, I'm back.
Cool.
I'm sorry, it took me a second to start. My shit froze up for a second. But I ended up going 14.
You sneak.
No, I mean, I took a second.
You pump faked me.
I what?
You pump faked me.
Well, I mean,
you said 22 and then hit 14.
I did. I was like, wait, I don't want to. I was like, I don't want to lose a 7 or an 8x, and I feel like we start losing shit when we go really big.
I can see the argument.
I don't know. Like
his big argument was stack to pot ratio. If we were deeper, he liked 22. At this one, he could still get it in by river.
Yeah, he said he had an 8-1 SPR, which means we can just go bigger on some runouts. On this runout,
bad card.
Pretty bad. I mean, there's a lot of hands that make 2 pair. There's pair and straight draw combos, and we can get check raised, put in a pretty tough spot. So I don't know if we go 35 or 20, but I want to see what everyone else says here. What are you guys thinking?
I got a bunch of checks. I'm conflicted. I'm kind of on team check.
Whoa.
I don't want to get check raised. Do you fold into a check raise?
Yeah. We just use this as a straight bluff catcher on some rivers and just allow him to realize equity with. I mean, the problem is he just gets so much free equity with so many hands, like 5-6 now. No, 5-6 is a straight. Damn. We get check raised a lot here, too.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I don't know what to do.
Well, so it's 35K, fold to a raise.
That feels reasonable.
Says 28K. Oh, he's split the difference and being a pain in my ass. It's 20K. The problem with 20K is now that's only a third pot, right? And you're giving a good price to all the draws. They're not making a mistake by calling that.
Yeah, what do you guys think in my chat? So what are you guys doing here? This is a weird spot, honestly.
Either we get check raised or give a free look at rivers. What is better? I don't want to get check raised. I want to realize my equity personally.
So we can just use a check back with some of our strong portions of our range here and then just bluff catch and call a ton of rivers because he's going to feel compelled to turn his hand into a bluff sometimes.
Pretty much anything that's not a 4-liner, right?
Yeah, Cheese Paint says 52K.
I'm less concerned with flush draw, with the spades and more concerned with a heart.
Yeah.
If we can check, we invite them to bluff us on the river. If the draws haven't completed yet, do we really want to give them a free card? I can't talk myself into a bet. I check. Yes, I'm okay with giving them a free card. I want to keep their bluffs in on the river. I'd rather do that, pick off a bluff, than bet here and get check raised and just need a new pair of underwear.
No note to one villain on if he's tight or aggressive. It doesn't seem like Matt knows much about him. I like either check and bluff catch or bigger size and fold to a raise. Part of me really wants to just go 35K and then fold if we get check jammed.
But this is a funny one because this hand really exemplifies the difference in your style versus my style. Because I don't know that betting's a mistake, but I do know that you're always betting this and I'm always checking, and that's the big difference between you and I when we study.
Well, we have a 2-street hand. I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen here sometime is even if it comes a blank, like he doesn't always check raise his 2 pair and things like that. And if he has a monster draw, he may elect to just call, and then he checks back to us a lot in the river. And if he check raises here, he has a very strong either combo draw or 2-pair set or something. Probably not too many sets. But I feel like I get to rivers and get pretty honest responses. Or they check back into us, and we just check back. We don't bet 3 times here under any circumstances.
I agree.
So I bet here.
I'm just getting a different 2 streets. Like, I'm going to get the flop, and then I'm going to check this, and then check call a shit ton of rivers and get the river.
I know, but it's just scary because when they overbet the river.
Bet turn, and then check back river. We're just picking a second street.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to run. We might have to take this hand and run it.
We have a what would you do for next week?
Yeah, we might have to run this hand ourselves and talk about it on Tuesday.
Ace, queen.
Do it real quick. Take the note. What's up?
1 on 11, 9. No.
I just want to run it and probably and see what size it likes. I feel like we're betting turn. It feels like it's gonna like a 40-ish%. So I'm gonna go 35K here, and then I don't know. I guess we got to fold it. I mean, maybe Payo might like a fucking check call. Who knows? All right, I'm betting. You checking?
I got a bunch of checks. We're checking. We're going with the army.
All right, we're betting, boys. Let's do it.
Not the best turn card in the deck. This is probably a better card for the big blind, but we still have a lot of hands, and I just want to point out how many hands we have that are better than ace queen here. We have ace king. We have that we bet the flop with. We have pocket 8s and pocket 7s, ace 8 suited, ace 7 suited, and now we have ace 9 suited. We also have 4 combos of 5-6 suited and 4 combos of jack 10 suited that we all play. So that's a lot of hands that we have better than ace queen. And even ace jack is a slightly better hand than ace jack and ace 10, because if we get check raised, we could call with ace jack and ace 10 with the straight draws, where ace queen we'd have to bet fold. So I think checking is the best option. Betting the medium size 35,000 I think is a good option too. We still get a lot of value from his flush draws, his pair and straight draws. But if we're betting, we're going to be folding to a check raise. I think it's just a very easy, trivial fold to check raise here. And we just kind of open us up against aggressive players if we bet here with this hand. And I don't like betting 20,000 unless it's a player you know that will never check raise. And then against those players, then betting 20,000 is fine as well. We check. The river is the 8 of diamonds. And the big blind checks. Should we check? Bet 20,000, bet 35,000, or bet 55,000.
This is actually a little more complicated than it looks. Keeping those chippies, Ginger. That's right.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Whoops, I forgot to turn that off. I think he made I really like the way he broke that down, and it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, we said it. We got to check fold to a check raise, and that sucks. Or we can control the pot. He said the 35,000 was a good option. What points was it?
7.
Yeah, so super close.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I said, it's trivial. Like, I'm betting a lot in this spot and getting check rate. It depends on opponents as well. Like, sure. He made a good point. Like, if it's somebody good and capable that we know is a reg and can check raise that spot because they just recognize range and they're going to use a lot of hands as semi bluffs. I would hope I would have the in-game awareness to check that spot back and bluff catch versus those guys. But I feel like versus the general pop, we can bet a lot because people aren't just capable and they're going to call with some hands they should check raise with. So that's how I feel about at least the turn.
Yeah, I can feel that. I can get behind that for sure. You betting for thin value here now?
When we check, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
So 2.
Absolutely. And being in position, I'm going to go 35K. Maybe even 50. Nah, I mean, he can use a pot control here with an ace. He can have a lot of weak ace X in his range because he's going to defend like ace deuce off to ace 10, ace jack might not even check raise sometimes or 3-bet sometimes from his spot. And they might take that the same line. So at the same, I'm just going to use maybe one of the 2 bigger sizings here, 35 to 55. We would have some missed draws in our range as well when we bet and check back the turn. He might expect us to use some of our 2 pairs and best hands as bets. So we might still be on a draw. So we might get heroed a lot by an ace. So I want to go 35 or 55, I want to say.
Yeah,
what are you guys doing?
Matt's tossing it up between 20 and 35. Gap Poker's got 35. Wall says check. Not going for that value. Ginger's checking 2 for the pocket control. I feel like we can make this look like a misdraw and get some value here.
Same.
Now, the question I'm going is if I go 55 here, for me,
yeah, I agree.
Personally, I kind of like 55, and I may even overbet it just because I'm going to do this with bluffs too, and I feel like it looks bluffy from me.
We polarize our range, right?
We do, but I think for most people, 35 is probably the right price.
We get called by some 9x when we go 35. We get called by maybe even... it's kind of ambitious to think a 7x is going to call, to be honest. But I guess King 7, maybe the best 7x in his range. But at the same time, I think we can get some 9x to call. But when he calls flop, we really have to just think he has some weak ace x a lot because he has a lot of those in his range. Like I said, ace deuce through ace jack probably in this spot. So I definitely want to target those. And I think those are all going to call a big bet.
Yeah. Most of my 9 is 35.
I think we can polarize our range. Yeah, I'm just going to go big. UX Learning says 55K, 9-10 is his only 9X, and he might not call anyway. So 55K, and I hope he has ace X. Kind of like the logic, honestly.
It's got Jack 9. He's got 9-10. He's got
Jack 9 calls, yeah.
6-9 suited. It's a big blind defend from a min raise, right? So he's pretty much got every suited 9.
Yeah, because he's going to call. Yeah, he's going to call with his gut shots. He's just going to call some. I mean, he might check. He's not going to check raise with the ace a lot because he figures he'd get called on his check raise even more. So maybe he would just check call.
Yeah, I guess you got to get them at the turn, right? So that only leaves 6-9, Jack 9, 9-10, King 9.
When he doesn't lead the river, wouldn't you? Do you think he would lead like a block bet with an ace X? That's a good point.
On the river?
Yeah, I mean he should in some cases, and if he gets raised, I mean he should honestly just go.
Yeah, this is a $600 tournament, so the field's a little weaker. If he's got an 8, he should always be betting, right? So we don't have to worry about that as much. You would imagine that a straight would have bet at some point, right?
I think 35K. That's kind of we go 55 and then fold to a check raise. Yeesh.
But the bigger bet is second pair really calling, says Marlon. Yeah, I mean, because we look like we have a shitload of flush draws. We went bet check.
All right. UX Learning, I'm going to put this on you. You like 55K, brother?
Me? I think I'm going
you're going 35. I'm asking the cat in my chat. We got it's time to put it on somebody. Put the spotlight, player spotlight on UX Learning. So he says 55. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down with the crew if we need to. So we're gonna
say you need some sort of scene transition to go like player spotlight, like some ESPN shit.
2 pits of fold says 35K. All right, you ready?
Yeah, 35. Everyone in my chat saying 35. We're rolling for 35.
Yeah, we got a couple 35s as well, but let's see. Let's do it.
I think we have a very clear value bet here with ace queen. We're going to have some missed flush draws, missed straight draws that we're going to want to bluff with on the river. So I think this is just a very easy bet. And I think a lot of people will check here, and I think that's a massive mistake. And I think when we bet here, I think people also bet really small, like 20,000. And I think we want to be betting pretty large, either 35 or I even like 55,000 better. Because we're going to be pretty polar to betting like ace-jack or better. And we got to think, too, big blind's still going to have all those ace-deuce, ace-3, ace-4s, ace-5, ace-5, ace-6s. They're going to have hands like 9-10. They're going to have hands like you could even have ace-7 now, which we beat. And I think a lot of his 8s would have let out on the turn, on the river if he tripped up his 8. So there's still a lot of hands he could be calling with. I like betting 55,000 the most. We're going to be pretty polar here, but betting 35,000 as well. I do not like the 20,000. We bet 35. Villain called and mucked his hand, and we win a good sized pot.
I mean, maybe we lost a little value there, Matt. I said in game I was probably going to overbet that
Yo,
spot. So I love it.
let's
I love it.
go.
Yeah, I love it, man. I said in game I was doing 55 and I might even overbet it, but I got leveled by Matt in the chat. But yeah,
Oh,
I
it
love it.
happens to me all the time. Yeah, I felt it, man. That feels like, I mean,
It's a great
I think we
spot.
can, I know for sure. Okay, Toe, I know for sure in game you're going 55 here.
Oh, I'm going 65.
Yeah, you're doing something insane. You're going big as fuck. I know this from experience and hundreds of hand
I'm a
histories.
goddamn savage.
In these spots, you're going big. I'm probably going to go big, but a little bit less than you. But I like it.
8 points for 35, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we got that 10 ball. So how many total points?
I think you might have beat me. Flop was pretty bad. 23.
27. So we're 1-1. We still got a couple more to do, boys. We're early. It's early in the study sesh.
That's right.
Buckle up. Let's have some fun.
We got at least 3.
Remember, guys, get in there. Feel free to interact. I want to see what you guys think as well. It's always fun to see what options other players are doing, and be honest and feel free to put some input out there as well on why you're doing that. I think it's fun.
Yeah, exclamation point P, blah, 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 we biffed it. Exclamation point PC in the chat. My chat, Sixes chat. Get a bunch of free quizzes, homeworks, all this stuff. You can do it for free. Sign up for the premium membership and you can play along and see what happens. You get 600 quizzes, homeworks. There's free webinars. There's charts. There's rewards. There's
I use this shit a lot.
Stuff. One of the great things about the site in general is, as you can see, it's really interactive. And when you do these things, you unlock other quizzes. So it kind of like gives you a little game to kind of make you want to study more. And you also get these stars where you can unlock, bonus things like cash game master classes and things like that. So make sure you follow those links and at least sign up for the free stuff. You can't free. You can't miss the free stuff.
For sure. And we got a couple quizzes there. Don't forget about that.
Oh my God.
You got
Marlon said,
you got two.
Oh shit, that's it. I'm going back to being uber aggressive. Marlon, you were here yesterday. When did you stop being uber aggressive? Wait a second. This is only first gear. You have another gear?
Right. All right, let's pick one. It's on you, buddy. You want to pick
it's on
one?
me. All right, cool. I'm making fun of my buddy Marlon. I see another gapper, and this one's kind of right up your alley. What about 622?
622. Ooh, the 1K S8. Oh, this Seminole Hard Rock. King 6 is suited. I like it. 300 bigs deep. All right, yeah, let's go down this rabbit hole and see what happens.
Let's give JL some love.
Let's do it.
Here we have the King 6 of Spades in a $1,000 buy-in Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open Tournament. Playing very deep stack, 300 big blinds. Low jack limps, folds around to me in the small blind. Should we fold, call, raise to 150, or raise to 300?
All right, Toe, contain yourself. Don't say anything. Let the boys answer. Contain yourself.
I thought we were just gonna click and move on.
Don't jump out of your skin because someone may do something different here. So
okay, fair. Marlon says 300.
See, there it is. Marlon's going 6x.
He said he was putting it in second gear. The wall is calling. Cyrus is calling.
Yeah, call. Yeah, we can just get through it so we don't waste a lot of time in this spot. I think it's just
gap call. Everybody, just call.
Don't yeah, from the low jack. Let's just go ahead and just complete and move on. I just wanted to see if anybody was going to jump out of their skin and say, "Oh, I always raise here," like Marlon. But let's do it.
Pretty much under no scenario am I raising here. When you're out of position with a hand that flops pretty well, getting great odds, you don't really want to mess that up by raising, because if you raise, now we're going to be heads up a lot of the time, which is fine, but we're going to be out of position, which is not so fine. So let's just call, see a cheap flop, and go from there. If the big blind raises to like 150, we're obviously calling. If he raises to 200 and this guy calls, we'll probably still call. If he makes it 300 and this guy calls, we'll probably fold. This guy folds, we'll of course fold. So that's generally the plan here. Flop comes King 9 7. Should we check, bet 50, bet 100, or bet 150?
All right.
Cool. I got a couple of checks in the hundreds rolling in here. So this is a limped pot, huh?
You remember, I owe you some money from the spot we ran like this since we've turned into DJs that bet pile spots now. I owe you some money. So I know what we're doing here. I just want to give you remember the bet we made.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I do too.
I
But it was a
forget those types of
hedge.
things.
Yeah. Famous Bob says check. I mean,
Mona says my check raise. Walls check calling. 100, 150, check. Call. Yep.
yeah, so I used to think there was a time we could lead some spots like this with top pair versus some checks. And then we had to run it in Pio, and it likes checking mostly. A lot of our range, like 80%. And then like a small bet, like 20% of the time we're betting small with some range.
Yep.
I think this is going to fall. Yeah, top pair shit kickers and limp pots. We kind of try to solve those spots, and it likes just a check call. Some check raises, and then some leads as well. But most shit kickers like this are always going to be checked.
88% of the time, it works all the time.
Yep. So we're just gonna check here and see what happens.
Cool.
And let's do it.
Watch, he's gonna lead, and I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Oh, I'm gonna lose my damn mind if he leaves.
While I would basically always check this in a raise pot, there certainly is merit to leading in a multi-way pot because there is no pre-flop aggressor, right? Which means this is often going to get checked through if no one has anything or everyone has marginal stuff. So if you are going to bet, you want to be betting big here because we want to be betting our best made hands in our draws, and we're essentially using this as our best made hand, right? That said, I'm still just going to check. I think the hand's perfectly fine to check if like big blind bets and low jack calls or raises. We may just find a nitty fold. If one player bets, we can obviously stick around. So that's the plan. Check. Low jack bets 100. Should we fold, call, raise to 200, or raise to 350?
Get your answers in the chat. Call, raise, check, raise, fold.
All
Balance
right.
your folding range. What do you guys think?
We got call here. We got a call here. I mean,
Two
yeah, he
calls,
touched on it.
and then Marlon raising it. 3 calls and Marlon raising it.
Yeah, it's always Marlon's always raising, of
Said he was
course.
going back to being aggressive. He warned us.
Now, never too much bacon. What's up, my dude? He says raise to 350 as well. Uh-oh. Marlon 2.0 over here, raising to 350 in my chat as well.
So Steve says low jack has queen through 7, so raise 350. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. A bunch of calls.
Yeah, I think we're just going to be calling here. We have to think about future. He's going to do a lot when we go to 350. Are we raising future streets for value? Are we necessarily value betting? He can just obviously have king 10 that limps, king jack. This player is just weird, could have king queen. And we're just going to get some better hands to call, and he's get to be in position. I don't know if I'm going to play a bloated raise pot out of position with king 6.
Okay, so Steve in my chat says low jack has queen 7, so raise to 350. So I have a few questions there, Steve. One, or a comment and a couple of questions. One, if he's got queen 7, why are we raising? Queen 7 is going to fold if we raise, and we don't want that, right? That's a bad thing. We beat queen 7. Question number 2 is that, or a comment for that is that we can't just say he's got queen 7, right? He's got a range of hands.
Yep.
Some of those include queen 7. But he's also got queen 9, king 7, sets of 9, sets of 7s, club draws. It's a limped pot. 8, 10, jack 10, queen 10. He's got all those things too.
Yeah, we make worse hands. We make worse hands start folding. We want him to bluff. And then when we start raising, we are playing a raise pot out of position where we're not necessarily sure if we're ahead or not. So, we just don't know if he's got a better king or not. And I don't think we need to just start trying to find out because he's going to keep bluffing with worse hands. And we pot control. There's an aspect of pot control here.
Yeah. We don't want to get value town ourselves, and we want to keep his bluffs in. Yep. So it's a snap call.
It's a snap
And
call.
you
I'm
gave
gonna
it
be
away in the
surprised.
last. You gave it away in the last explanation before it happened. I just wanted to see if people were listening.
Yeah, you got to be listening. All right, let's do it.
So top pair is clearly the best hand here a lot of the time. The problem, though, is that if we raise, our opponent's going to call us with all sorts of draws and better made hands, and we don't really know which draws we have to fade, right? So for that reason, I think we just have a pretty easy call. If we are going to raise, though, again, we want to make it 350. We don't want to make it 200 because then we're just really giving our opponent great odds. So we call. Now big blind calls. Turn is a 4. Should we check, bet 150, bet 400, or bet 750?
Mamma mia. All right. UX, my man, says he's checking. Check from Peanut Flush. What's up, buddy?
Wouldn't we rather find out on the flop before it costs us more on later streets? I mean, not really. If you get raised by a flush draw, you don't find out. You get bet off the best hand. Same thing for saying like 8-10. The flush draws are just going to float us too, and we don't find out shit. And yeah, so I would prefer checking just to try and keep his bluffs in, basically, and not value ton ourselves. All my chat checking right now. Check. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we got a bunch of checks here. Mike, check. Yeah, we just got I mean, I don't think anybody's raising, leading out here into this. We still get called, even if we go 400. We're so deep effective. We really don't even make a lot of net flush draws or some better hand. We don't make much fold. We make worse fold, and the better hands keep calling, where they can still just bet with worse hands. We're just trying to get to showdown, it feels like.
Yep, I agree 100%. Marlon says this still hits us more than it hits others 400. Agreed, Marlon. So if this hits us more than it hits him, and we bet the 400, what's calling? That's the question. We're not getting value from anything. Which makes it me say check, but I pretty much gave it away.
Right. Yeah, I think we're just checking here, boys. Let's just check and see.
I feel like we're on the verge of a swish. Let's see.
All right, let's say, hey, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it, my dude. Don't jinx it.
That river gets us every goddamn time.
Every single time.
All right, let's check.
So I think checking is probably still just the right line here. If we do bet, yes, we can push off some draws that have a little bit of equity, like gut shots. That said, we're obviously never getting a better made hand to fold. So I think I just like checking. If we are going to bet again, we need to bet on the bigger side, like 400. So yeah, I prefer checking. This time I bet, though. So whenever I see myself make a play that I don't really love, I'm always trying to ask myself, what did I perhaps see in live poker that made me do this? Because I'm not just making random plays, right? I am thinking when I'm playing poker. And most likely what I saw here is probably the low jack was just done with the hand. If the low jack bets and he's like, ugh, 2 people called me, fine, I lose. Now we're playing heads up against one player who probably has a king, a 9, a 7, or a draw, right? So if we can completely negate low jack, like he's just out of the hand, he's gone. Now, I don't actually mind betting. And notice the big blind he's not going to be betting the turn very often. He's going to go check, check. Low jack's just going to check behind because he probably has nothing. So we don't really want that to happen, right? Because whatever both opponents have probably has at least some equity. So in that scenario, leading makes sense. So if you can tell low jack's done with it, leading using a big sizing is fine because now we're just extracting value from big blinds, worse made hands, and also draws. And we get low jack to fold whatever he has. Like say he has ace 3. I don't really care if ace 3 folds, right? So we do go 400. Low jack folds. River's a jack. Should we check, bet 400, bet 800, or bet 1200?
It always gets tricky, man.
What are you guys doing out there?
It always gets tricky, boys.
Yeah, I'm like, we got the switch, but the problem is he fucked the hand up. Now,
yeah, now he puts us in a tough spot. It was too easy. It was too easy. Setting us up. Oh boy, I know what I like here, but I want to see what everyone else thinks about this spot. What do you guys think in these chats? Too many checkbacks on this river. I think we have to bet for value. Okay. I'll kind of get into my thoughts on that.
Gab says
Moose
800. Check call from the wall.
My man says check fold. UX Learner says check fold.
Why check fold?
I mean, that's
because you're putting them on what range of hands that check flop and call the 400 bet and now beat you.
I mean, yeah, he still has flush draw. He still has 9x. There are a handful of... No, we're going to be playing the board versus another king. Some jack x to get there. I know. Okay. I think I'm going to bet fold. Kind of like a block bet where we can still get caught by some worse combos. And when he does decide to raise, I think he's going to have a strong hand. When we're betting into, we can have a lot of two pairs. We can have 10-8 ourselves with this line. So when he elects to just raise river, I think he's just going to have strong value hand. I mean, he's just not going to be turning his hand into a bluff too much. I don't know. I mean, if we're checking, we're check calling. I'm not check folding.
I have one of my chats say check calling, and then we have two 800s out there. I don't think we did this one before on nuts. I am conflicted. I feel like I do agree. Well. I feel like we get a ton of check backs if we don't bet, and that bugs me. And then the two people that are betting say 800, and I feel like that's too big.
I mean, I'm going 400 out of position. I'm sticking with it, boys. This is going to be
team 400 as well.
I mean, I don't know. He checks back what though? Jack 10? No, I mean
checks back Jack X, checks back 9X.
So he's thinking he's gonna either turn his hand into a bluff, on this river with missed clubs, and then he's going to check back everything else because a Jack's probably just gonna check back showdown.
Yep. A 9's gonna check back showdown.
If we bet here, it may dissuade him. Well, we want him to bluff.
Mm-hmm. Damn, what's he bluffing? He's literally only bluffing missed clubs
but I want to get value.
Like that's it. 8-10 got there. Queen 10 got there. So he's only bluffing missed clubs.
I know in game I'm going 400 here a lot. 400. In game I'm going 400. So I don't know. We'll see. Damn, why did we lead the turn? I know it was so sexy. It was setting up for like a fast break layup.
It was.
Yeah. And then the point guard dribbled that shit out to the 3-point line and threw it to us in a post.
I agree, Gab. We got here in a weird way, and now we're in this weird decision point of the tree.
All right, 400 it is, boys, for me.
My whole darn chat says check calling, and I would bet 400 too, so I'm conflicted.
You're going to go down with the boys? I go down with the boys all the time.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go down with the army.
He's going down with the boys, and he's doing it. All right.
So when we bet the turn, we get protection from the draws and extract value from worse hands. When any card comes that completes some of the draws, you want to be doing a lot of checking. Because now, think about this, right? If I bet, what am I trying to get called by? Like a jack? But what jacks are there? There's Jack 10, maybe Queen Jack, probably just Jack 10. We lose to a lot of draws that perhaps came in, like Queen 10, 10-8. We were already losing to a king, and a king won't fold to a bet, like a better king. 9's probably just going to fold if he has 9-8 or something like that. So really, there's not a whole lot of hands we can get called by that we beat if we bet. But if we check, we can very easily induce a bluff. So this is a very, very easy check. If I am going to bet, I guess we want to bet kind of on the medium size, like 800, because we are essentially, again, playing this is one of our best made hands, but this is not one of our best made hands, right? Our best made hands here are 2 pair. If I had 2 pair, I'd consider betting. But this hand is a very, very easy check, and then call if the opponent bets, given both of the flush draws missed. This time it goes check, check, though, and we win the pot.
He missed a value bet. Nah, he missed a value bet, man. He missed value from a 9. Fuck that.
I gotta tell you, man, the Army is a fucking savage. Every time I'm like, I don't know, and I go with them, they never
My
let me
Army was
down.
right. Everybody was right. I just went with my God.
I was
Damn,
with you.
guys
I was
are
betting
good.
400 in game. I was 100% with you.
We missed value. No, I'm kidding.
I was
But I
100%
mean,
doing
a
that.
good player, like a draw gets there and he makes. So if it's probably any other car, like a queen, he would have Jack 10. So like if it's like
It's got to be a complete
a
break.
deuce, yeah, like a deuce or something like that. So. All right, well played. You win that one, sir.
God,
Let's go on
crazy.
to the next one. Good job, Toe Army.
How
I love
much
you
was
guys.
your option worth? They're asking in my chat.
Excuse me?
How much was how much was your bet worth? The 400.
Four fucking points.
Four. God, savage.
Oof. Feels bad, man.
Yikes.
Good job, Toe Army. Hey, it's nothing against the Sixes Army. That was all me. I punted. As usual.
I was
I pulled
again, like I was 100% doing that in game. I only went because of the overwhelming in the chat. You tried to level me too. You said, I go down with my chat all the time, he says.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I do all the time.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm looking around. We haven't done an Alex one today. Alex always spices it up. You know, it starts talking about what cologne the players are wearing and shit like that. So I'm about that. So let's find an Alex.
Was in Jupiter. So what are you thinking? 627?
Let me see, 627.
Under the gun with 8-9 suited. It's your wheelhouse.
Call. I call. Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
On Poker Stars. I miss you, Stars. I
so
want to play it. All right.
Hey guys, so in this hand, you're looking at an under the gun 2x raise and a $22 deep stacks on Poker Stars. You have 8-9 hearts on the button. The villain is a bad, loose, aggressive player. Haven't seen much creativity, just raises. If you push back, he doesn't seem to really know what to do. 20,500 ships is what you have. Blinds are 2550. Pre-flop here, do you want to fold, call, raise to 250, or raise to 450?
Going aggro with it?
I'll read your message there in a second. Kill puck.
Got to turn sixes down there because I had to pump Alex Boy the fuck up. Yeah. Yeah, interesting spot. Boogaloo, what's up, buddy? Says, I won the PokerStars passport in 2009 for winning the tournament leaderboard. My man, congratulations, buddy.
Eesh, teach me. Nice. That's awesome, buddy. If we check because draws got there, but also to induce a bluff, how do we call a big bet, or do we have to put him on the draw that missed or a bluff? He's talking about that spot with Jonathan. I mean, I think he just thinks his hand is too strong to ever check fold. Villain's going to have some bluffs, but we don't want to raise and then bet fold when his opponents might turn their hand into a bluff. But I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of weird, like why we wouldn't bet there, because we can just bet fold in some cases, but I don't know. Yeah, call pre, obviously, he's saying.
Marlon says he would normally flat this, but in this scenario, he's raising to 450. What makes this scenario different, Marlon?
Well, Jonathan did say, I mean, not Jonathan, Alex did say he was like bad aggro, you know. Anytime somebody pushes,
you don't fool us, Crazysixes. We know you're a killer, and we won't let our guard down or for the toe that matter. Alex goes 250. I think I would do the same or flat. Says show. What are you doing here, buddy?
I mean, for me, I mean, he's even bad players can get hands, so I think here we just can call. Like I don't mind. Versus under the gun range, he does label him as aggro, and I guess we would want to have some 3-bets in our range when we raise here. So personally, I think Alex is going to go to 450. I've tried to get into this man's head.
Interesting.
I've studied some of his content. Maybe he wants to go, you know. I mean, we're, you know, super deep here. So if we are going to raise, I would prefer to just go big to 450. That way we're going to have nice coverage. But it is under the gun. So normally you just want to call here, but, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, we are all over here, bro. There's a lot of different stuff.
Because this guy has been marked as a hyper bad, aggressive player. My problem is Ginger says call, Gap says call. Wouldn't a small 3-bet get rid of the small blind or big blind sometimes? Yes. So here's my thoughts. One, getting rid of the blinds doesn't work me as much because when I have 8-9 suited, I kind of want to be multi-way. This hand is great for multi-way action. Also, the fact
EV
that this
is going to
guy's
be higher
hyper
heads up.
aggressive would make me lean toward flat versus raise because I feel like I'm just going to get 4-bet more by a bad hyper aggro guy. And I want to play pots and let him spew off. So I would lean toward call for that reason for myself.
I mean, I think your EV will probably be higher by raising and getting it heads up in position than if you just call. If we were to run an EV here, like I just think raising in position heads up. Like maybe if you actually gave this guy a tight range, but he said he's aggro, super aggro.
Right. So actually, I have adversity. If this guy was a more tight, regular tagging type player, I would 3-bet because he's going to flat me. He's going to be more honest and flat me more, and then I can see bet a lot of flops and take it down and play from there. But if he's aggro, I think like I don't fight aggro with aggro.
Yeah, you just let them make mistakes in big pots, play it in position,
Call down
and just
lighter.
play.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, normally in game I'm calling. I don't want to level myself here, but in my chat we have a lot. We says no, raise to 450 is better. Eat the Cat says 450. Famous 5 says 250. Call for me. So we are all over the place. Yeesh.
Yodacar says 250. Show says 250. I have 1, 2 calls, 3 calls, and 1 450. Cyrus says 250. I got a bunch of 250. So I can't do 250. I'm going to save us from ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, 250 for me is not going to be an option at this stack depth. Yeah, it's either 450 or call. I'm going call. Okay. Oh, man, 450. I'm trying to be like, I'm channeling my inner Alex here versus this guy.
All right. Switches. I think we got a call 1. So if you guys are going...
We're going 450, boys, right?
We're going 450
1,
because
2.
everyone's betting, but I don't think 250 is right.
Nah, yeah.
So I guess we'll keep it 450. I would call in game. Let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
You're never going to get tight, passive players anymore, or they're much more rare. More often now, you have loose players that they get to be bullies in their home games, and they make a couple of bucks, and they take it online, and it's your job to take it from them. So if this guy, you've played with him in a bunch of tournaments, and he doesn't seem to know what to do, when you push back, you want to play the biggest, and you think he's just opening everything here because he's loose, aggressive, and bad. You want to play the biggest pot you can with this guy when you're in position. You're doubling down, right? You like this spot. So I think 450 when stacks are this deep would be the most you would call. If you said 250, that's fine. And if you said call, like that's fine. I just think you have a great option to rob this guy. And I think that's what we should try to do. So he calls, and the board comes 10 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds, 3 of spades. Now here, do you want to check? Do you want to bet 3-3-1? Do you want to bet 5-3-1? Or do you want to bet 7-31?
All right, guys. Are we c-betting or no? Booyahs of Marlin.
All right.
Sit back like that. Make a stack row. I agree. Hold nuts.
Nice decision there, buddy.
Hawksmat says, Alex fights aggro with aggro. He's an angry poker player.
No, I mean, he's just going to attack. You know, when Alex starts talking about player types, ignore so much theoretically what you would do in that spot and kind of listen to what he says. I think he would target a player like he thinks is aggro passive or aggro bad and try to get heads up with them in spots like this for bigger sizing. I think he's going to print more that way than just calling versus a player he reads like this. So the question is, on a board with such little equity, is he going to use a smaller sizing here, or is he going to use a larger sizing to get a few more folds?
I got a 531 from Marlin and a 531 from Eat the Cat. And
Eat the Cat says 531. Yeah.
331 from Mr. Cyrus. Oh, no, he missed by the pot. He's changing it to 531.
Damn, so everybody's 531 here. Yeah, what are you guys doing in my chat?
331 gives him a good price to call. With what, Mom?
I'm torn.
Oh,
all right, I'm going to go DG.
Snap answer for me.
I know what I'm doing, but I'm a
Matt
little
says
torn between
331.
sizing. What are you doing? What up, DG?
I am going 331 for sure. He either hits it or he doesn't. I can get it done for cheap. I have 9 high. And I want to barrel a lot of turns. So I'm going to barrel a diamond, barrel a jack,
Barrel 7.
barrel 7.
Yeah, I mean, you have to barrel
barrel an
7.
ace, barrel a king, barrel a queen. So I'm going to barrel a lot, so I'm going to keep it small.
Yeah, I agree as well. What up, DG says, I do the small in game, but not love it. I mean, yeah, we're going to just go small. This board is relatively dry as hell as well. And we should just straight up get some folds from like king, queen off and things like that. That would probably call. Ace jack without a diamond might even call, and we can make hands like that fold on future streets. Bear ace highs. And they might just fold straight up now. So, yeah, I mean, I think we can just go small here if this guy is, he shouldn't hit this flop often. I think 331, since we will bet most of our range in this hand. Completely agree.
Yep.
Completely agree.
Wall says check, question mark. So Wall, I noticed one thing throughout the quiz that we've done so far. I think it might be a little too tight. When we 3-bet this pre, we have to rep the hand. We have to bet. We have 9 high. We have no way to win. We don't want to let him just barrel any turn when we check.
Well, we have to think about our range as well. We don't
have
think
to
about
bet,
our hand. Don't think about your hand in this spot. Think about your range when you 3-bet and under the gun open, and all the strongest hands you can still have and still represent. Your cards are, I'm not going to say irrelevant, at least for now they are, because we should be betting a lot of our range because our range is so strong and he's kind of capped. So, yeah, we should still think of it in that manner rather than how much equity we have right away, especially this deep, because we don't have to continue. We're not committed if he jams or anything. So, all right, I'm doing 331. You ready?
Yep, 331 for us too.
Let's do it.
You got a couple of different options now. If the board doesn't come with 2 cards higher than a 9, most likely he has mostly high cards on his board because people don't fold to 3-bets nearly as much as they should in $10, $20 tournaments, right? So he has mostly high cards. Now you can do a couple of different plays. You can bet 331, get him to call with all of his high cards and try to take it on the turn. You can bet big and just make sure he's going to fold those high cards. And betting somewhere in the middle doesn't make as much sense. If he was good, you could check back like, ooh, I got my 10 here, or I got pocket 9s. And he would just go, well, I guess there's no sense in bluffing, and then you could pick it up on the turn. But I think we should bet a little bit bigger here. But in this case, he check raises. So here, do you want to fold, call, raise to 33.50, or raise to 39.50?
Yeah. Oh. All right. I'm back. I'm sorry, I had you muted for a second.
I mean, he did nail it. He said that we're going to bet twice, so betting small makes sense if you're going to bet twice. He says bet big, take it down now.
Yep.
My other argument is if I bet smaller and I do get this 3-bet, the 3-bet smaller and I lose less.
Famous 5 says, I always try to avoid the middle amount and figure out if I can exploit by going big or small. Do you think that's bad?
I think
No, we should have.
Perfect.
No, I think it's great. But I'm just saying there are times where a middling amount will make sense. But using either dynamic sizing or small size to, exploit that they're going to overfold or exploit the fact they're going to overcall and induce is good for sure, man.
Sure. Matt says, guess being uber deep, we should be aggressive. Click back, ugh. Yeah, I mean, I just think, I think they didn't even put together that this is a click back. Marlon says he's going 39.50 and stop laughing at him.
No shit.
I mean, the click back is suspect as fuck.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not sure. We're getting such a good price to do something.
We're never getting a flush draw to fold. Not this guy.
And when we call, he's just going to bet turns, and we're going to have to fold on the six of hearts or something, So, raising or folding, I personally, with such little equity, even in position, and it's either going to be raise or fold. What are you guys doing in my chat? It has to be a fold now. So many other hands to fight. We have so many better hands. Calling to float when he's just going to raise turn, and we're likely not going to pick up equity, with no diamond. It just seems ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to be shocked if he floats. Even for a min raise, getting 19%. Do we have 19% with backdoor flush draws? Backdoor, yeah, no, not backdoor straight draw? Because we don't even can count the over as maybe being good. So I don't think so, man. Fold as played, UX Learning says, kind of agree. I'm uncomfortable as hell. I'm going to stick with it. But I mean, is he really, we can just rep aces and go 39, but he's not going to fold a flush draw then, and then we just go crazy on non-flush turns? Jesus, it's getting out of hand.
I got two 3950s, two folds. Oh, man. I mean, I'm folding here. I can half see the argument of clicking it back again to 3950 because this guy is clicking it on you. But again, I just think we have so much better hands, and this is just
We
crazy.
have such little equity. I'm folding for this. Dr. HJ says call. I can't wait to see his explanation if he does anything other than fold. This is going to be good for everybody. So I'm folding.
The raise. Like, I can see the raise. The call seems out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, if he calls, that's going to be crazy.
You're always
my first option is. I mean, I have made some spaz. He moved and went to 39.50 here because if we just think about our range, and then his range is going to be flush draws and then just some bullshit a lot, and we still have aces, kings, queens, the strongest parts of our range, and to just give that range up to this player just makes me sad. What does he rep with his raising? He is aggro. He's not repping a goddamn thing, right? So maybe just going 39 is fucking sweet, dude. We're still super deep.
What does he rep?
God, why am I doing raising?
This he is aggro. The problem is like we're going down the damn rabbit hole with 9 high. Like we can just find better spots.
You have no heart.
And the problem is even when you hit the turn, like an 8 on the turn, not great. A 9 on the turn, not great. You don't know if you're winning. A 7 on the turn, not great. And you're always facing a turn bet. So even if we hit our hand here, we don't know what's going on. On the rare occasion this guy checks, we could potentially pounce. But this is an aggro guy. I don't expect him to check.
Yep. All right, let's make a decision and move.
I got more folds than anything else.
You got more folds.
I got all kinds and a bunch of folds.
Eek the Cat said, I'm making it 39 just because Eek the Cat said so. He got the last one right. He's in my chat saying 39. I'm going to spotlight my man, Eek the Cat.
All right, Eek, let's see what happens.
Now, I picked this hand because many of you guys see the insanity on some of my other hands, and you think that's normal poker. What you should do here 9 times out of 10 is just fold. And I'll tell you why that is. I said this guy was bad at the beginning, so there's certain assumptions people make when they play poker, and they make those assumptions because that's how they play poker. So one assumption you can make with most players that have been around the block a little bit is that they will not raise with one pair. They raised with one pair a couple times, and they got 3-bet, and they didn't know what to do, and they got broke versus a set, and they just decided to call down with a pair most of the time. Most people raise their 2-pair better, call with their pairs, and fold their high cards. That tends to be how most people play poker. If the guy's bad, which means he's kind of new, sometimes when they're dealing with a hyper-aggressive jerk like you, they'll hit Queen 10 on this board and be like, "Ooh, yeah, I got this guy now," which is actually a pretty good way to play. They're not being worried about you coming over the top, and they don't really have a plan for that, but they're probably going to call. So if you said 33.50 or 39.50, I think those plays are fine because you'll be risking, well, how much would you be risking if you were risking 30? If you were making it 33.50 out there, it wouldn't be 33.50. So what would be going on at that point is you would be. So let's see.
I had to see if we're going down the 10-minute rabbit hole with Alex Fitzgerald on the snap fold.
Subtracted by 731, right? So you would be risking 2,619 to win. What's in the middle of it now? Like 2,475 plus 3. So yeah, you'd be risking about 2.6K to win about 7, right? You actually don't need to be that successful that often when you do those plays. So I do like the small 3-bet if you are really suspicious of the guy, but I think generally what you're going to want to do is just fold, because I think with bad players there's lots of just confused check raises with good pairs that are not going anywhere if you 3-bet. Now, a lot of people do call in this situation because they say, I'm going to do something on the turn, but I've watched a lot of those hand histories and nobody ever really has a terrific idea on the turn. Like, if you're Jonathan Little, by all means, bet, call, represent the 10, and do it against a guy that's going to believe that, right? But with this guy, I think you'd be playing Beethoven to a cow. So I think the better play is just a fold.
I fucking love it, Oldham. I love it.
Oh, that was good. Playing Beethoven to a cow. Did you hear that? That was awesome.
I love it. I love how he said,
it.
I put this hand in here because I know you've seen me go crazy on other hands before. So I just wanted
Yeah,
to
that's why I
go
did
crazy.
that. Dude, we've seen enough. That's why I wanted to go 39.50. I was kind of wanted to see if he was going to do it, if he had a read on this particular opponent type. But Alex is the GOAT. Yeah, he's awesome.
Holmnes said he's going to fold, but he's going to fold aggressively.
Fold aggressively, yes.
So he said you might even do the icky shuffle and then fold.
Oh, that's funny as hell. All right. You want to do another one? I got time for probably one more, maybe two. We'll see.
I'm down.
Let's do it. All right. So I picked Alex. I had to get that out of my system for today. You know I need my Alex fix every Saturday. I need at least a quiz or
Like we always say, like he goes, he comes from a different angle than anybody else. I mean, I kind of put him in the same category as, your good friend Ryan, who like are amazing poker players with outstanding results, but look at the game differently than everybody else. They're like, we're all over here painting by numbers, and those guys are Picasso.
Yes. Yep.
And so you want to get inside those types of minds, and you want to get accustomed and exposure to all the different mindsets and thought processes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm into filling these gaps. What about 624?
624. Let me see.
Big blind.
3.5K WPT Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open 110. Let's do it. Loose aggressive opponent. So let's do it.
Go.
All right, continuing through this 3,500 WPT for our hand quizzes. We have Ace King offsuit in the small blind. Loose aggressive player raises 600 off of just over 100 big blinds from the low jack. Folds to us. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 1,800 or re-raise to 2,400?
All right. Here it goes, boys. Just Ace King in the small blind.
I know. I mean, here I got an 18. I got a 24.
24. Damn, 24s are flying into the chat.
Marlon's a 24. Gab's a 24.
Everybody's at 24 here in my chat.
24. Defo, he says, I'm a 24. Sixes, you're a...
I mean, we study together, so...
Six is a 24. Yoda card's a 24. Let's click this bitch and move on.
Yep, let's do it. It's got to be 24, right, guys? Let's do it.
I think we have a very clear 3-bet here. We're in the small blind. We're playing about 100 big blinds deep. We got a premium hand. I like re-raising to 2,400. That's a nice standard 4x from the small blind, playing these 100 big blind stacks. You can re-raise to 1,800, but you're just giving the in-position player a way too good of an option. Calling, I mean, it's better than folding. I wouldn't do it here from the small blind, especially against a loose player. And so we raise to 2,400. Opponent calls. Queen Jack 4, Rainbow. Should we check? Bet 1,500, bet 2,200, or bet 3,500?
Following through, what do you guys think?
All right, boys, here we go.
Following through, what do you guys think? 2,200 from Cyrus.
What do you guys like in here? 15 UX Learning, 15 by Eek. Ooh, Spokle says check. This is the first check. What's your plan for checking, Spokle? What are you thinking here? I know what I'm doing already, but we got 2 checks. We got a couple checks now.
Yeah, I got 2 22s, 3 15s.
Check call, he says. Check call with the 2 overs and a gut shot. Reasonable.
Wall says 1500, call a re-raise.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing here.
I don't know if we're doing the same thing because I know what I'm doing here.
Oh, God. I know what you're doing here.
From your response, I think we're doing different things.
We're always doing something different here. Here we go. You're checking.
I'm checking. 2 cards over a 9, 3-bet pot. I'm checking. Check calling always.
Yeah, you're check calling always, and I'm leaning towards a 3-bet. I mean, a C-bet.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards 1500 here for sure. Yeah, let's just see what Matt likes in this spot. This should be interesting, something I'm going to remember forever. So we have this debate a lot.
Sub, my man, up in the 1170. You are getting it.
Hey, hell yeah, that's what's up, buddy.
All right, guys, let's what the hell am I doing? Everyone 22, 1500. What is everyone doing? 1500, 1500. Everyone of mine's doing 1500. I would definitely check. So I'll go 1500 with the group.
All right, I'm going 1500.
Kind of the trick you should be learning here is that keep in mind what the SPR is. There's 5,200 in the pot. The villain has 20,000 back. And so when the SPR gets lower, especially in a 3-bet pot, you just get a continuation bet a ton here. So I think we should be doing a lot of betting. I do like betting 2,200, a little under half-size pot. This is a pretty good flop for our range. We're going to have a range advantage, high equity advantage. We have all the over pairs, a lot of ace-queens, ace-kings, jacks, queens. The only set that he has that we don't have is pocket 4s. So we're doing really well on this flop. We have queen jack suited as well too. That will probably 3-bet pre-flop as well. So bet 2,200. I don't think we need to go larger than that, so I don't like the 3,500. Bet 1,500 is a little blocker bet, works as well. And you can check call here as well, but I just think it's a flop that we should be betting pretty much most of our range. I bet 2,200. Opponent calls, and the turn is the ace of clubs. Should we check? Bet 2,500, bet 4,000, or bet 7,000?
Awkward.
All right. Glad
I got that one wrong. I learned something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if like betting is wrong. Like he said betting even small, like a block bet is fine.
I don't even know what my score was. 5.
Would you do?
1500.
Did you? Oh, you did 15.
I would
Yeah,
check. I'm curious to know what that score was. I think it would have been a bad one.
It'd have been like a 1 or a 2, bro. Like he said, he wants to be betting here, and I know what I'm doing here as well. King 10 gets there, ace queen, ace jack, but we can still get value from queen 10, king queen, king jack. How do you bet 22-20 with live? He went 2,200. All right, so we got some 4K out there. Here's our option, boys, just in case.
I have 4Ks streaming through my chat and 2 checks.
So we got a check in my chat.
3 checks. It's time.
Ooh, I don't. And what's wrong with me? Why can't I just ever stop betting and just may say, yeah, check's good here.
Snap
I just
check.
want to check. I want to check.
Snap check. We don't want to get raised. We have showdown value now. Other things got there. There's other 2 pairs out there. Check, check, check. We got a medium hand, out of position. Check, 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 check.
Just bluff catch everything. Everything.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yoda says 7K. He's bombing it. And then when you get raised, are you folding, Yoda? Matter of fact,
Maybe.
any of the 4Ks over there, if you happen to get raised, what's your plan? Folding?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to suck. I mean, we're raising. Yeah, I think we can. I mean, I'm going to check this. I'm going to be able to talk myself into a check here because we're out of position. And what are we going to do on rivers, right? If we lead turn and he calls, we
You check, he jams.
Like, that option fucking sucks.
Sure does.
So on the other option, we can just check call and then reevaluate rivers. So we can check call here. He might bet some worse. And then we can just reevaluate river. So if we bet turn and then we bet river small and then he raises, like, ugh. Yeah, it's going to suck if we get raised. Lol. Yeah, I agree. That's the same as check calling twice this. Yeah, if we bet
agree.
here.
Check calling twice. This is best in my opinion.
God damn it, man. Part of me really wants to bet again.
Obviously connected, so I'm checking. Absolutely. I mean, that card is actually a bad card, right? Straights get there. More two pairs get there. It's not the greatest. And now we have weak showdown value. I know we have top pair, top kicker, but on this board, it's medium strength. You know, time to go to showdown value, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, someone said, what up, DG says, we also have better hands that we can go bet with, like sets. And then we also have, like, King 10 suited, all the sets except for fours. Ace Jack, Ace Queen, we can go bet with as well. So we have better hands than just a one pair hand here. We can check call. What are his bluffs going to be when he goes bet? Do we just fold some rivers when he shoves?
Depends. Yeah, if he shoves, I'm folding for sure.
All right. I think we check. I think we have to check. We have a mediocre holding. King 10 gets there. Ace Jack, Ace Queen, also in his calling range. Fours are in his calling range. All right. Let's see what Matt does. We're going to check.
Interesting card here on the turn. Obviously gives us top with the Ace King. Brings it back to a flush draw. Completes the King 10 straight draw. Brings some Ace Queen, Ace Jack, two pairs into the consideration. I think it's close between a check and a bet 4,000. Betting 4,000 would bring the pot to 17.6, and our villain would have like 13.4 back, so about 75% of the pot. Pretty good river SPR. So I think it's close between check and bet 4,000. I think I like bet 4,000, especially against a looser opponent. We're going to get a lot of calls from King Queen, Jack 10, Ace 10, Queen X of clubs, Queen 10 of clubs, Queen 9 of clubs, Jack 10 of clubs, Jack 9 of clubs. King Jack of clubs. So I like betting, and if we were to get shoved on, I would like calling. I don't like betting the smaller option because I think that it just gives him too good of a price, and he's just never making a mistake. He gets to play pretty well against that small bet. And I don't like betting 7,000. Like I said, if we bet 4, it's going to set us up pretty well on the river. I bet 4. Our opponent calls, and the river is the 7 of clubs. Should we check, bet 3,000, or go all in?
Interesting that he said he's going with it on the turn. Man. A big blind 200, man. I don't know if I'm getting behind going with it on the turn. I love me some Matt Affleck. We're going to hang out soon, but...
All right.
So what really stood out to me is he said that if he bets here and gets jammed on, he's going with it.
Yeah, he just said he's going with it.
Because we're a big blind 200. And sitting, this pot's going to be fucking 30K.
Yep. We're going to be putting in 150 big blinds with one pair.
Well, don't say we. Matt's going to be putting in 100.
I mean, how does when we bet 4K and he shoves, how does he show it with worse?
Yeah, I agree.
Yikes. I mean, every time I would try to call here, we're getting shown fucking Ace Queen, Ace Jack 100% of the time.
And King 10.
And King 10 is like, oh, you have a big hand here when you shove my 3-bet, C-bet, double barrel.
Yeah,
no shit.
what are you
what the fuck are you like? He's like, agreed. The guy's got to show you like, okay, I obviously have it.
Agreed.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Checking was 8 points, definitely not a mistake. When you get in the 5 and 6 point area, it starts to get murky. Under that, you're probably making a mistake. 8 points, I think, is pretty close.
Yeah, 8 points isn't bad.
And he's gonna. I mean, if he's gonna bet go with it, I guess 10 points for that answer. But I would not. I would check call and check about it.
Dude, I can't imagine as a world for 150 big blinds where we're 3-bet, C-bet,
turn bet,
and then turn bet, and then you get jammed on a turn on this run out, and you're good.
Yep.
Like, sheesh.
Yep.
Ace 10 of clubs. I mean, we can't even have it. Queen 10 of clubs. Like King Queen of clubs.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping for some shit like that.
Even those want to get the showdown value, right? They don't want to fucking bet themselves out and go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Checking
Yeah,
here
we
always,
don't.
right?
Yeah, somebody says reviewing hands is beneficial, obviously, but we don't have to treat every spot as if the coach is 100% correct. Everyone makes mistakes. And it's true. I mean, we all can take different lines. This is the beauty of this game. We all see these spots a little bit different. And from his experiences in these spots, this is a 3.5K he's playing. He's earned his way to play these stakes. And, you know, we got to take his word with we got to respect what he's saying in these spots as well. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, and the truth is that's why there's a variety of coaches that create content on this site. My quizzes are on this site. My quizzes are going to be much different than Six's quizzes that are also on the site, who's going to be much different than Asasianato's quizzes that are on the site, that's different than JL, that's different than Matt, that's different than
It's a lot of
Lexi,
winning
that's different
players.
than Tristan. Like, we all have a different bit of a flavor that we bring to the game that's successful for us, and we all create content for the site. So the answer is digest all the content from all of them, and then you kind of have to take. This is the hard part. Like, I had a coach once that told me, like, there's definitely an art and a science to this game, and there's the math stuff that's just basic, right? You're getting pot odds, you go, right? And then there's the stuff that, you know, the different ways and things that I do to maneuver a field and get chips are very different than the ways that Sixes maneuvers and gets chips, and they both work really well. And so it's about taking the pieces that work for you and molding that in your game and making your own hybrid style, right?
Exactly.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
sixes. There's things that Sixes do that fucking never works for me, and I watch them do this shit every time. And then there's stuff that I do that never works for Sixes.
Yeah, we
Right?
see it in a lot of hand history. It's just the funniest shit. I was like, bro, how the fuck did you get away with this? Like, and I just get snapped. But you know, but yeah, let's.
Check it.
I mean, I'm just checking.
We have to check.
All right. We're just gonna check here, boys.
Check.
I really like a check here, and I think a lot of weaker players get kind of blinders here. Oh, we have top, but thinking about our range, we're going to have a lot better hands to be shoving here or betting for value. We're going to have ace-queen, a lot of the ace-jacks, pocket queens, pocket jacks, pocket aces, and we're going to have a lot of flushes too now. We're going to have our queen-jack of clubs, king-queen of clubs, etc. So I think it's just one of our stronger checks. I don't mind the bet 3,000 as a little blocker bet to get a little value from ace 10 or king queen or jack 10 if you think he just kind of flicks it in. But going all in, I just don't think we get called by many worse hands at all. We check, and our opponent goes all in. Should we fold or should we call?
No.
No. So here's the problem. I am hating life, and I have an opinion of what I think Matt's gonna do. I got a bunch of folds streaming in my chat right now. I think Matt gave a clue away to what he's gonna do here earlier in this quiz, I guess. And I don't want to give that away until we get some answers in the chat.
Yeah, I want to see what you guys are gonna do here. I mean, I think I know what he's doing, but fold so much got there.
I got a bunch of folds, one hero, and one throw your computer.
Seen it a mile away. People are just fuck. Everybody's folding. I haven't seen one call in my chat.
I haven't seen one call either. Oh, I got one call. Cyrus is the hero.
Fold. Oh, there it is. What's up, men's? Men's with the call. Getting in there. 9-10 either suited or off is the main bluff. Matt calls up fold, please, but Matt, I don't know. Damn. Call fuck it is right.
Yoda says it's a call. You only have to be right one out of every 3 times.
That's call it. Yeah, we're near the top of our range as well. We have, I mean.
Matt's going to call. If he was going to bet this on the turn and call off, then he's certainly going to call here, right? Like, that was my clue.
No, yeah, like, that's what I'm thinking. When Matt said he was going to bet, like, only a few backdoor club draws got there, and this is a loose rag. Yeah, I mean, I think, God damn it. Are you really calling this up in the 3.5K live tournament, like when you have this action?
I'm not getting here this way. I am. I'm seriously, I'm pot controlling, so I don't have to deal. This is exactly why I was check calling flop, check calling turn, so I don't deal with this. That's exactly why.
Yeah, I mean, life is hard when you go this way, right? And we get to an actual river, and it's like, fuck. Well, we lose to a lot of hands.
I got top, and I don't know what to do. This sucks.
Well, boys, we're calling because Matt,
Matt said so.
Yeah, because Matt said so on the turn. So if he changes his mind here and says, no, I think he has, then I'm gonna be kind of shocked.
Then I'm gonna go with the comps option of throwing my computer.
Even if he bluffs, you cannot call. Ace Queen is almost 60 bigs here. Yeah, fuck.
It's too big.
It's almost 70 bigs, dude. It's 37 bigs. 37. I mean, not 37. 57.
Okay, so let me take a count. I got 1, 2, 3 folds, 1, 2 calls. Matt says if someone bigs behind, if we call and lose this pot.
Yeah, I mean I'm calling, but at this point, you know our boy who's never folding as well. I don't think Just GTO is folding this.
It's a tragedy. I forgot my count here. 1 call, 2 calls, and then 1, 2.
I'm calling.
3 folds. I got more folds than calls, so I'm gonna go fold just to go with the group.
All right, we're calling, boys.
I don't know
Fuck
what
this.
This spot.
We're not broke. We're not broke after we give away 60. We're still gonna have near 100, so let's do it.
This is an important spot that I think a lot of weaker players mess up, and I think myself in this one I messed up. And we have ace king, and it's one of the stronger hands we checked here on the river, so we're kind of at the top of our range. But the thing to remember here with ace king is this is pretty much a pure bluff. It is 100% a bluff catcher. We don't beat any value hands. You could have ace 10, and now you have to ask a question: does he bluff enough here, and what kind of bluffs could he have? And on this board, there's really no natural bluffs other than 10-9 suited, and there's only 3 combos of that because one of those is now a flush. So he really has 3 natural bluffs with 10-9 of clubs. So obviously he doesn't have enough of bluffs. Now you have to ask yourself, does he include enough unnatural bluffs? So unnatural bluffs that I would think would be good hands to bluff with here in position would be his Jack 10 of spades, King Queen, maybe even a hand like turning a hand like Ace 5 suited. I mean, you could even turn a hand like pocket 10s into a bluff here. So, and I just think a majority of those players aren't turning those hands into bluffs. Therefore, they're not going to have enough bluffs to make us want to call with our bluff catchers. We only want to be calling with our hands that could actually beat his value range. So I think folding is the best option for sure. I screwed up here. I called, and he had one of those value hands. He showed Queen 10 of clubs. So I think I would have played the hand perfectly if I found the river full. This hand makes perfect sense. His Queen X of clubs, Jack X of clubs. That's what we went to get value from on the turn. So just got to be able to fold rivers, and definitely made a big mistake here on the river.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So he did find a fold.
Yeah, it's just too deep. I mean,
he debated on the turn.
He did.
So he's calling all turn, but not river, huh? Okay.
A little weird.
Yeah, I mean, what if it's an off 7? Like, what if it's not the 7? Well, I think he calls if it's not a club, you think? He didn't mention anything about the backdoor flush draws getting there or anything.
Yeah, I don't think the club is the problem. Like, club's the least of my problems here, I think.
So he just thinks this guy's going to be honest and check back King, Queen, Ace X when we bet turn. You know what I'm saying?
Back Ace X because he's got showdown value.
He's got showdown value. Yeah, so so that's why the turn is so interesting in this spot. That's why if he's going to take this line, maybe just checking. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go check call, and lose the same amount and get the showdown.
Right, but at least at that point he might have some hands he turns into bluffs at that point. I don't know, yeah. Because when he calls a 4K on the turn, I mean, he can just still have a very strong range in any jams.
Fold. Because if he's triple barreling this board, like, we have so much
Queen Jack, Jack
Yeah.
10.
ace-X.
Yeah,
We're
yeah. I don't think he has any club combos. Can you give Matt my Twitch? I should Oh gosh, stop it. Stop it. You ain't coaching no Matt. He's a beast, dude. This guy's a god.
He said the same thing in mine.
All right, last one. I got one time for
You got one more?
My wife hasn't called my name yet. I'm going to keep it on the DL before she starts yelling at me. We do have to go somewhere at 3, so I got time for one more, boys.
Pick it.
Oh. All right.
I heard
one
screaming.
more. Yeah, screaming's in the background. That means I'm next. Let's do... Also, yeah, we didn't block any clubs either. Did you pick the last one?
Yeah.
Ace Queen from Jonathan Little, 581.
581.
Let me see. I'm looking at 3-6, 50 big blind.
Ready to run it?
Let's do it. All right.
We are still in this $3,000 buy-in World Series of Poker event. In the money. Probably down to about the top 5% of the field or so. And we get Ace Queen. You all know we're making a standard raise, 2.2 to 2.5 big blinds. And it folds around to a kid in the big blind who defends. Flop comes 9-5-4, and the opponent checks. Should we check, bet 12,000, bet 24,000, or bet 36,000?
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you're here. Just want to read the nice comment from Meek. He says, love you guys to stream. I even watch them on YouTube. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Thanks for being interactive. We love having you. We like doing them. This is fun for us. And the truth is Sixes and I do this shit together all week long anyway. So, like, this is just normal days for us. We just get to do it with you guys. You know, you get a little vision as to what we do all the time.
Yep.
That being said, I got a 12K and 3 checks.
You can make a case for maybe going a little bit bigger here, but I mean, after I did some studying yesterday for a while, I mean, there's a lot of hands that the big blind can call with, you know, straight draws. So maybe just using a bigger bet here on this texture to kind of bend it, because it hits his range a little bit more. He's going to have more straight draws, gut shot, single pair hands, and we just have like over pairs and some decent. We have ace 5, we have some 9x. But you know, everyone here's. I mean, in game, I'm probably gonna go 12K. You know.
Yeah, Matt says this defends the smash the big blind. I mean,
check all in.
Yes, I can half see a check. If this was like 9-5-7 or 5-4-5-6, 4-5-7, I could definitely be checking there. This one, I just think it's 9-5-4. Like, even though he's got a lot of combos that hit this, he's also got a lot of like King 6 and stuff that's just gonna fold. We take it down now.
What's up, Solaris? My man says check, small, bet, or check. I'm surprised to see so many checks on 9-5-4, to be honest with you. On such a dryish board. Obviously, it kind of benefits his range, but we are in position. This is not a range bet board, he says. I would think this is dry enough.
I would too. Yeah, I would too as well. I
mean, there's like, I think 9-5-6, you know, is one I might shy away from betting a lot. But the 9-5-4 rainbow, oh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we want to bet range, but we'll see what Jonathan says.
I agree. I actually have 3 checks and 2 12Ks. Yoda says 12K as well, so we're pretty tied. I would do 12K myself.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, and then see what Jonathan has to say. I'd be surprised if he says, you know, this is an range bet board. We're going to get check raised kind of a lot on this board. It hits his range a little bit more. I can see those arguments. I can certainly see those arguments. So.
Bovine says, got to have something for a check range or check raise range. Yeah. I think we got to fire. It's too dry. Let's see.
All right, let's do it.
This is a situation where I think we need to go ahead and continuation bet with most of our range, mainly because the board is rather dry. If this was instead 9-8-7, 9-6-5, 8-5-4, really if it's just like a little bit more connected, I think we need to do a whole lot more checking with our very clear marginal made hands like we have here to some extent. But given, in this scenario, it is enough unconnected, I think we need to go ahead and bet small with our entire range. I think we just have enough of a range advantage to where we can just bet small with everything. And that is what we do. In scenarios like this, where you have the range advantage but not the nut advantage, you typically just want to be betting small with your whole range. Turns to Jack of Spades, the opponent checks again. Should we check, bet 14,000, bet 28,000, or bet 56,000?
Like the bet, and we got a call. What are you guys doing out there? 28, 56, 14, or check?
All right.
Get them out there. Get them out there.
We did it, boys. We got it right. I mean, honestly, I think 954. If we want to look at equity distribution and how we should be reacting on these boards, it is going to like a bet a lot. I think it really definitely changes at 956.
Yeah.
97, 975 might even be a little bit check as well. But 954 is it's still dry enough where we want to bet a lot. So here are our bet sizes, boys. Check 14K, 28, or 56. What do you like?
Cyrus already out there with the double barrel. He's betting 28. He's not screwed.
Yeah, I like.
Wall says between 28 and 56. What's that, like 35-ish, Wall?
I thought 45 and 40 or so. 28K. Thank you guys for those follows, Jacob and the other follow we just got. Appreciate it, guys.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Rafa, thank you for the follow as well. I forgot to say that earlier.
Mellow Mark, what's good, baby? All right. Any more 28K? So, yeah, I think we want to use what's in the pot. 59K is in the
Yeah. Matt says 56K. I think he means 59. In game 42. This is Eek. Half pot all day. This is holding nuts.
I'm going big as hell in this spot.
Really?
Dude, I mean, none of the straight draws got there. We're going to put max pressure on a 9-5 or 4, which he has a lot. We're still repping over pairs. That jack, if it doesn't make like jack 9 specifically, if he flop 2 pair, we're going to find out. I think we just make the biggest bet right now and put a lot of pressure on a 5x, 4x, and some of the weakest 9x.
Wow.
We block ace 5.
I'm I'm betting 28 because I would bet like 35 in game or 40 in game.
Yeah, I would go bigger than 28 in game, and I think I would go in the 40s. So I'm gonna split the difference and go to the biggest size. If I can't go in the 40s, I'm going to the biggest. But I don't think Jonathan's gonna do that. I think Jonathan's gonna go 28. But I want to do what I would do and go fucking massive. But would our overpairs really go massive here?
Nope.
When we want to bet big again just to get value and we can still get some folds? And if we don't go so big, we can use another high card as a triple barrel in the river.
Oh, God.
28.
King, spade, 10. Awesome cards.
Yes. Spade, ace, queen, king, like all these hands.
Yeah, except ace, we're not betting for value, right? Ace, we check back and get showdown.
We're not. Are you kidding? We're not betting an ace. Are you kidding?
When you go bet, what are you getting?
Yeah. I mean, if I hit an ace, I mean, sure, like, yeah. I mean, I think I would bet it. I would bet an ace on the river.
I question what you're getting value from.
It just depends on the size I would use. If I'm gonna go smaller, maybe we still get called by a jack X that somehow got there on the turn. King 9s, an ace high float that turns some equity or something like that.
Good point by Matt. We do have the ace of spades, so we block the backdoor flush draw a lot. Yoda says, keep in mind, he said you're in the money, so you're applying max pressure to someone trying to ladder. Fair. Comp says 28 backdoor flush with the ace of spades.
Man. I'm going 56. I'm just gonna live with it. I think it's 28. I really think he's gonna go 28 though.
Yeah, I have a bunch of commentary, but not a bunch of answers. So
yeah, everybody's scared to answer on this one. So Dr. HJ says 2/3 pot or an overbet 1.25. Whew. I like 56 with the options. All right, we're doing it. 56 it is.
So
and then we're just checking back all rivers when called.
954 board.
I already clicked, so go for it.
Really change anything? You probably want to check behind, looking to bluff catch some portion of the time to try to catch your opponent's bluffs with just random gut shots with random floats, etc. But when the turn is a jack is a rather scary card. Really, an ace, a king, a queen, or a jack are all pretty bad for my opponent. Because if I was bluffing the flop with high cards, some of them just got there and made top pair, which is a pretty great hand. So, given I would definitely like to bet with my jacks here, and maybe even some of my nines, because it's kind of unlikely the opponent has too many jacks when they check call the flop. Like if he has jack 10 on the flop, for example, he's just going to check fold. But if I had jack 10, I would have bet the flop, right? So because of that, I think I want to go ahead and continue betting with a lot of my bluffs. The question is do I need to bluff with this hand? Is this hand better to check behind and then call some river bets, or just check, and then hope to check it down? Obviously, I hope to check it down, right? When the opponent bets the river, I'm not loving it by any means. But anyway, in this spot, I think it does depend a lot on your read of the opponent. Very often in scenarios like this, if I think the opponent just doesn't love the jack, you'll see some people, they get like deflated when the turn is an obviously scary card. And other players, they'll just sit there stoically, right? Obviously, you want to sit there stoically. Or, you know, you could act deflated when it's good for you, but then your reverse tell just becomes an actual tell, because if you do that every time, you're really easy to play against. I prefer the stoic manner of just sitting there and not reacting. But if you can tell your opponent is very unhappy, you might as well just bet again and pick up the pot. If we are going to bet here, we either need to bet pretty big or medium, either one. I think I generally like a 28,000 chip bet. In general, in tournaments, you want to use smaller sizings because when your bluffs fail, you want to lose less money. And also betting 56,000 on the turn makes it way more risky whenever we opt to bluff the river, if we do ever decide to bluff the river, which I probably wouldn't. If I bet the turn here for any amount and got called, unless the river's a king, I'm probably just going to check behind. And nice thing about 28,000 is that we can still actually have the best hand. Like say we bet here and our opponent does call with 6-3 suited, 6-3 of spades or something like that. Or maybe they have a random 10-8 of diamonds and they turn to draw and they decide to call, getting pretty good odds. They may just check the river, we check behind, and then we win. Whereas if we bet 56,000, now our opponent's going to be check raising a lot, and if they do decide to check call, they may lead the river as a bluff, and it leads to a lot of bad spots for me. So I think the right player is to bet 28,000 or check, either one. This time we do 28,000 and our opponent just folds. So whenever they fold a pair, obviously that's amazing for me. And whenever they fold out a hand with equity, like say our opponent did have 8-7 and decided to float the flop, that's fine because 8-7 has plenty of equity, right? So either way, it works out pretty well for me.
Swish.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I mean, very good explanation. I wish his sizes were a little bit different.
Me too.
Why can't he have like a 40-ish K in there? But I mean, at the same time, I think you made a good point about our bluffs not, but they still have to be big enough. So maybe leaning on about 60% here and not necessarily needing to go 75, 80 or pot just to get our point across, because it's still going to accomplish the same thing, you know, when we go 60 as it does 80, because that range is still going to continue and we risk less. So I think it's good. Better to bet less when bluffing, but we have to bet big enough to make sure we can still get folds and he doesn't call. So I think 60-ish is a good number. And if you can do it for less, if it affects their, you know, if their effective stack is a little bit less, if we can get that bet through for less, I think we can do it there as well. So we're not committed. So
yeah,
that's
what's funny is where I like the big bet too is if the spade or those other cards we said we were going to bluff come on the river. I love the open bet.
Then we can do it again. Yeah, then we can do it then, right? We put a lot of pressure on his range.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. But yeah, that's it. I got to get out of here. Guys, that was fun, man. I really appreciate you guys coming through again. Remember, you can get all this shit for free. And you can do these quizzes with us every week. You get 25 for free just for signing up. And access to all these cool tools, charts, you know, the webinar. You get notifications and whatnot. Push fold charts. So I would say check it out, boys. It is amazing. And yeah, man, thank you, Toe, man. It was good having you back.
Yeah, it was fun as always, man. I always enjoy doing this stuff, and especially with you, brother. So yeah, one, we got to figure out who we're gonna throw the host over to. If you got a boat out, then I'll just I'll run the giveaway. Don't worry about it. And
All right, cool. Yeah, I got to bolt. We got to go somewhere. And I want to say congratulations on that big ass week last week. My man got second in a global tournament. I can't remember the name of it. Was it the
the
scrimmage?
scrimmage.
Yeah, he got second in the scrimmage for 8K. He had a bunch of other ones. He's had a big ass week. We had a nice week last week. So the work is paying off, and we're using a lot of these tools when we study on our own as well. So
Yeah, I love them. I love them. I love them. I love doing the work. I love seeing the rewards. I love doing the study. I hated school. It's amazing how much I love doing this stuff. Yeah, thanks, guys. PC in my chat, already in there. PC and Sixes chat, I put it in there for them. Click those links. Sign up for free. Get the free stuff. Join us every Saturday. We do this noon Eastern. If you missed part of it, I always put it up on the YouTube channel for review. You can check them out there. Exclamation point YouTube in my chat. I'm going to do a $10 giveaway. So Sixes, if you want to throw me the host, I'll wait for you guys to come hang out. Get the giveaway going, and I'll throw the host to somebody magic.
Yep, guys, remember hit that follow button for my man Toe when I send you over, man. One of my best friends in poker, good guy, and yeah, we're gonna go a long way in this game. But make sure you show him some love, and we'll be back tomorrow playing a big ass Sunday session. So I'm gonna drop him that raid, and thank you guys once again for hanging out, and enjoy my man Toe for a minute. Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you. Yep. Sure.
All right, let me get this giveaway started for you guys. Who was that? That was Bits from CS Wood. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Kind words from Holding Up in the Whispers. I appreciate you, buddy. Congratulations on your success. Congratulations on doing the hard work and seeing the payoffs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We get the raid from Sixes. Welcome, guys. Eek, all those guys. Thank you for all the kind words and all the good stuff. I feel like I missed an alert, so I'm going to double check. UX Learning, thank you for the follow as well. And I think I missed Jim Moore a while back, so if you're still out there, my friend, thank you so much. Sorry for the late recognition. All right, we're going to get this giveaway started. It's going to be $10, either ACR or PayPal. Let me know what works for you. I'm going to get it started. Ticket cost is 0. So all you have to do, and the max ticket is 100. So all you have to do is type exclamation point ticket space 100 and you will be entered. Ready, go. It is running. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that and give you an opportunity to join that. Shit, you know, why we always do this? While you guys are doing that, why don't we run a quiz while I give you guys a chance to run into this giveaway. Also, make sure you click the follow button up above so you can tell when I go on live. We are playing the big Sunday tomorrow. Like I said, playing the scrimmage again, all the Eagles events going for trophies. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but be back later this afternoon to stream the Rock the Rescue charity stream. That's on America's Card Room with a $20 bounty on me, and I think up to like $22,000 in bounties in general. All going to charity to save the puppies, so you cannot go for a better cause. That's going on at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. So make sure you turn it on. We'll be back on for a little while just streaming that. And then Sunday, like I said. Also, like I said, the YouTube channel, I don't know. I see that my man JPG is on fire. There is the YouTube link as well. Let's do one more quiz while we let this giveaway run for a second. And then we'll pick it. Let me find a good one. I don't want to do heads up with the Sassilano. That's a little much, huh? What about a 5K JL? We'll go big. We'll go big. All right, let's run this guy. And while you guys are all doing exclamation point ticket space 100 in the chat, and let's see what happens.
Here we are still early in the $5,000 buy-in World Series of Poker event, and someone's already lost almost all their money. Under the Gun, who started the hand with 8,000 chips, opens a 700. Hijack makes it 1,500. So raise, small 3-bet. Then it folds around to me on the button with pocket aces. What a bizarre scenario. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 2,500, or re-raise to 3,800?
Matt going 38. I'm a little conflicted, to be honest. Cyrus going 38. Who else is out there? Anybody else out there got an idea? This is sticky. 2,500 for UX Learning. This is sticky, man. Do we flat to induce back jams? Matt, that's an interesting idea. I kind of am considering that myself. Just because this player lost a bunch of his chips does not mean that he is bad. He could have got a bad beat, right? Call to induce. I can definitely see that argument. Part of me wants to bet 3,800 though as well, just to try and get, the max value from the hijack. One call, two calls, three calls. 1, 38, 2 3,800s, 2 2,500s, and 3 calls. Ooh, already getting a little sticky here, huh? 4 bet on the button looks almost like you're stealing. Yeah, I mean, I just think if this guy's 3-betting and under the gun raise, he's got a value hand. Hijack on the call. Hijack's a 3-bet. HJ 3-bet. 3,800 says CS Wood. I'm kind of leaning towards CS Wood as well. I'm kind of leaning toward 3,800 myself just because this raise from under the gun raise looks strong. It's early and people don't want to bust the first day, so going large may be ideal. And I want to get value. Like I said, I think the hijack's got a really strong hand. I see a lot of 3,800s. Let's run 3,800.
Well, clearly don't fold aces.
9 and 10.
Here we have a few options. We can re-raise tiny, but I think re-raising tiny to 2,500 just screams strength. Anytime you give your opponent amazing odds, you're essentially saying, hello, I'm going to give you great odds and you still can't win. So, well, what does that mean I have, right? It means you have aces, maybe kings. So you don't want to do that. So we're either going to make it 3,800 or call. And in this scenario, I think I actually like calling, which I know may sound a little bit weird, may look a little bit funny, but if we make it 3,800, it's just clear we're putting it in against under the gun, right? So we must have something decent because we are against an under the gun raiser who probably has a decent range, right? So if I make it 3,800, I'm obviously putting my stack in. If I make a call though, and my opponent under the gun goes all in, I could conceivably fold. Obviously not with aces, but if I had a weaker hand. So I'm not sure if I'm actually doing a whole lot of calling in this scenario. I probably should just call with most of my range. Like if I had jacks here, maybe I'm just supposed to call. And then if if under the gun jams and hijack jams, I fold the jacks. Ace king, if it goes jam, jam, I would call it off. Queens, if it goes jam, jam, I would call it off. And maybe I also call stuff like 10s and 9s. I also plan to fold, maybe ace queen suited. So that's probably what we're supposed to do here. And then just fold everything else. And whenever it goes raise and 3-bet, you should be pretty tight. So don't think you have to play many hands at all in this scenario. And that strategy I just laid out of call perhaps 9s and better, ace queen suited and better, and ace king. It's going to be pretty tough to take advantage of because we're only folding out 10s, 9s, and 8s and jacks against the jam. So 24 hands, and we're calling, actually ace queen suited we fold too. So what'd I say? Jacks, 10s, 9s. It's 18 hands plus 4, so 22. And we're going to call it off still with aces, kings, queens, and ace king. So that's 16 plus 12, which is, what, 28. So we're calling about half the time, calling a jam about half the time when we flat. So I think that's going to be fine. Also, if we see the pot 3 ways in position post-flop, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, we're really hoping under the gun elects to jam, thinking that perhaps one of the two of us will fold and there'll be 2,000 dead chips in the pot, which I think actually will happen a pretty good amount of the time. But it doesn't happen this time. Flop comes king, 9-3, and now hijack makes a small bet. Probably one of these spots where he can bet small with his whole range, even with 2 players in the pot, one of them kind of short. Because here if he is bluffing with like queen jack, let's say, which I really don't think he has, but he may. If he has queen jack, he can bet and then fold to a jam. And if he has ace king, he can bet small because he doesn't really care because ace king is great, right? He doesn't mind giving the opponents good odds. So anyway, right here, should we fold, call, raise to 3,500, or go all in?
What do you guys think? Ike says call. This is an interesting spot here. Definitely an interesting spot. Call again says hump. Call, the board is really dry. All in, says Matt. Give you guys a couple more seconds here. I'm pretty conflicted. I can get behind a call. I see the reason why. When we raise here, it's hard to get called by worse. But then at the same time, I'm kind of a bet the nuts guy. UX earnings says 3,500. I'm kind of a bet the nuts guy. And the argument for that is that, like, pocket queens is never betting again. So we're not losing value from those hands. Kings are always calling. So yeah, I guess I'm on 3,500. 3,500 doesn't really do anything. Like 65 at least put the shorty in. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? 3,500. The shorty's never got any fold equity. God, it looks so strong. I really don't like the size. I would go closer to 4K. Just so it didn't look so clickbacky. 47 maybe, 40, something like that. Something like that. I kind of like that. Personally. Jack 10 Queen will kill our action or improve the range. Fair. Super fair. So that is a great argument for betting. For sure, learning. For sure. Thank you, Kentucky. We have been mentioning the Royal Rescue. We'll be back on streaming for that, for the charity stream, coming up at 5 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you tune back in for that. Kentucky, thanks for coming in, buddy. So yeah, anyways, that's an argument for raising. So I guess I'm on kind of raising. I agree. I kind of agree with you, learning as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 calls. 3,500. If you make it 3,500, you may lose under the gun. With 6,500, it may be jams if you call. Yeah, but I'm not really worried about that guy because he's only going to come along or not. This is a multi-way pot. He's not going to just turn something into a bluff here. He's coming or not at this point. But everyone's saying calling, so I'm going to go with call. I would definitely raise. I'm with learning, but let's go call and see what happens. Call.
This is rather similar to the pre-flop scenario where if I raise, it looks really, really strong because can I put in 38 or 3,500 and then fold to a jam from either player? And I think the answer is probably not. I mean, maybe I could raise to 3,500 with Queen Jack suited and fold to a raise, but that seems really optimistic. So for that reason, if I raise, it looks really strong. And again, I don't really want to look super strong. So now I want to ask, do my opponents have much equity against me to the point that I don't mind if they just kind of see a free or cheap turn? And I think I don't really mind because, like, what's the best hand my opponent can have against me right here? It's like King, Queen, King, Jack, right? And those hands have 5 outs. I mean, take your 5 outs when I'm in position. That is A-okay with me. Also, when I call under the gun and then, again, could shove, which would be fantastic. Then hijack may shove if they have a king, and then we just get all the money in. To be clear, we're not folding here, ever. So this is a situation where I think we just need to call because really I'm not worried about many turn cards at all. So we call. Whenever you are slow playing, by the way, you always want to ask, like, am I actually somewhat vulnerable? Am I susceptible to being outdrawn? And 5 outs is not a lot. And that's really going to be like the best case scenario for our opponents here. And sometimes they're going to have a hand like ace-9 or ace-king, in which case they're drawing to 2 outs. And they probably think they have the best hand a lot of the time. So in that scenario, you typically want to call. Also, you want to ask, how often will my opponent's hand become very clearly worse? And if our opponent does have a hand like ace-king or king-queen here, the board just cannot run out that badly for them. So they're still going to put their money in a lot of the time. It's a little bit different when the board's like king 9-8 with 2 diamonds, because then there are a lot of bad turns for a hand like ace-king, right? So in that scenario, you should probably be a little bit more inclined to raise. But here, it's pretty uncoordinated, so I like a flat. Opponent bets 2,500 on the turn. Should we fold? Don't do that one. Should we call? Should we raise to 5,500? Or should we go all in?
All right, here we go. Homeboy bets 2,500 on turn. What are we doing here? Your left feeling shows up with kings. Awesome turn card. Agreed, Cyrus. Queen on the turn would be nasty. That is for sure. Jam says Matt. All in says, what up, DG? All in says, this problem just keep the trap going, says UX. Call says eat the cat. I mean, shit, I'm kind of on team all in because, again, he's betting twice. I don't think he's betting 3 times the bluff ever. I think he's got a king or nothing, man. I really do. I mean, I'm raising this again myself. So I'm kind of with all the all-ins. We got 2 calls, though. 3 all-in, bunch of all-ins, bunch of all-ins. All right, we're going to hit the all-in and see what happens. 8 likes the call.
While I did not really like an all-in on the flop because that really does force the opponent to have a pretty good hand to call, pretty much just a king. Now, once the opponent bets again, the opponent's range starts to get much stronger to the point that the opponent's range probably is a lot of kings, but the opponent could also have some gut shots if they're raising those pre-flop, which, again, I don't know what people are re-raising tiny with. If our opponent has a king, again, there just aren't very many bad cards that can come off to make them not want to pay us. So I definitely do think this is a reasonable spot to continue slow playing, especially if you think your opponent has many, if any, bluffs in their range. And, I don't know who this hypothetical opponent is, but they do sometimes. Sometimes they just have a hand like ace-queen and they're going for it. Now, obviously, we could be against a draw like ace-queen of hearts or ace-jack of hearts, but whatever. They can have their outs, right? You may be saying, well, aren't you worried about being beat by pocket kings or pocket nines? And, I mean, the answer is, I guess, yes, but it just doesn't matter. Sometimes you are going to lose when you run into a set. So we decide to slow play again. River's a 3. And now our opponent bets 5,500, leaving 4K behind. Should we fold, call, or go all in?
I mean, sheesh. Is that what a bit big on the turn? Fair. A lot of kings now. Maybe I could be right about the villains. Is nuts. Now it's a jam, says Cyrus. Well, then, gross, says UX, rather. I actually kind of like this card, because now King 9. 2 pair hands got negated. Hard for, like, King, Queen to fold here. Hard for Ace, King never folding here. All in every day, all in every day, all in every day. Yeah. I'm agreed. Like, we're all in it for sure. I just don't think we lose too much. Already been on. I agree. All right. All in now. Let's see what happens. All in.
The 3 is a pretty magical card for me because now I lose to almost nothing. We lose to only 6 combinations of kings and 9s. Our opponent probably didn't re-raise 3s or 6s pre-flop. And maybe they have ace-3, but the ace-3 suited, but the only ace-3 suited is ace-3 of hearts, so there's one combination of that. So we lose to 7 combinations of hands potentially. And again, our opponent may not even re-raise small with some of those. So which hands do we beat that could call a shove for 4K more? Well, ace-king, there's 6 combinations of that. King-queen, there's 4 times 3. There's 12 combinations of that. So as you see, like right there, there's plenty of combinations. 18 to 7. To the point that I think we have a pretty easy shove. I don't think many people are folding a king here at this point, especially if you do a little bit of an acting job and make it look like, ugh, I have the queen jack of hearts. All right, I'm all in. And I don't think an acting job is necessary here. I mean, when people are getting amazing odds, a lot of the time they just have to call. That said, if the opponent does actually have king-queen here, I think it's probably just a fold because my jamming range is going to be ace-king and better, so king-queen loses, and then a few bluffs, perhaps like queen jack of hearts, queen 10 of hearts, jack 10 of hearts. But if I did have those hands, I'm probably still just never attempting a bluff. And also, if our opponent has king-queen, they block some of those, right? Well, maybe not always, depending on what their queen is, I suppose. But this is a scenario where a bluff would be very, very optimistic in my shoes because I do expect to get called a ton. So I'm probably just never bluffing here. And if I'm never bluffing here, what is my range then? I mean, probably still just ace-king and better, right? And if it's ace-king and better, then king-queen's still a fold. But the opponent called. He had ace-king, and we get paid. We do want to jam, by the way. I don't think we want to call because we just do very clearly have the best hand here a lot. And we can get called by worse, even though worse is only top pair.
There we go. There we go. Good one, guys. This one was a little bit interesting. Super interesting. Let's run this giveaway, guys. You've been patient enough. Let's check it out. Time to run it. And close giveaway, draw winner. The winner is my man, Mad Dog. On fire. Congratulations, Jave. Hit me up. I'm pretty sure your screen name's the same. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'll ship you that money. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate you all. We will be back in a few hours doing the Rock the Rescue charity stream. So come back and tune in for that. Also back tomorrow for sure. Playing all the big Sunday stuff, going after Eagles trophies, playing all the big stuff. Gonna have some fun. So make sure you tune in for that. If you haven't clicked the follow button, please, please, please hit that follow button. Make sure you have. We do this every Saturday, me and my partner Crazysixes. Trying to get better. The replay for these are always on the YouTube channel as well. Make sure you are signing up to PC.com for, there it is from Mad Dog, not from Mad Dog, from JPG, because he is the mod of the century. Click that link, get the free stuff, tons of free quizzes, homeworks, all that stuff. I appreciate you all as always. Let's throw the host over to someone fun, huh? Who was that? You know what? We're going to give our boy Lightning some love. So check him out. We'll be back in a couple hours. And
how do people describe their health coverage through Nevada Health Link?
Later. Let me, excuse me, get ready to do the hose as I stuff my face and with breakfast. Yeah. Let's do it.
Fire in the hole.
Let's do it. Let's not blow it. All right, I'm good. See you later. Peace.